10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Lepoleni and Matseko Musito. Tamengo Bene talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique, with Joël Muteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Mariamo Kumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close
14:02 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, this is Africa at Play on Channel Africa with sport and music from an African perspective. My name is Neto and Neto Chemane. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African Time. Please do get in touch with us on our different social media platforms. On Instagram and X is at Channel Africa 1, and on Facebook the name of our station Channel Africa. Should you miss out on any of our interviews, worry not, we've got you covered. Please do make time to visit our Channel Africa website. Click on programs and search for Africa at Play. At the bottom right screen of Africa at Play, you will be able to click on more for those conversations. By all means, you can listen when you have time to do so. Sport and the court of law. No one thought that this could be the order of the day, but we want to touch base with the president of the South African Sports Confederation, Olympic and Paralympic Committee, SASCOC President Perry Hendricks, to talk about the Caster Semenya case in the Grand Chamber of the European Court of Human Rights, ECHR. The Grand Chamber upheld the 2023 decision ECHR's lower chamber that found that Caster Semenya was denied a fair and effective hearing by the Swiss Federal Tribunal. Let's welcome Sir Hendricks to this conversation. Mr. Hendricks, good afternoon and welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon and good afternoon to your listeners.
Thank you so much for joining us. From the knowledge you have about this Caster Semenya case, one would think an athlete belongs to the track and field, but by the look of things, the court of law will always be part of the proceedings. Please talk to us about where it all began and how did we get here?
Well, it's all about the rules and regulations that we have in sport, the debate about women that have higher testosterone levels than others. And then there's the other issues around gender of women. We have always felt as SASCOC that the process that was followed that prevented Caster from participating in sport was not done properly. And we welcome the decision by the court. We will then consult with Ms. Semenya to try and find out the way forward with regards to her future. Having said that, knowing that that ruling prevented her from participating in the prime of her life.
And Sir Hendricks, we also got to see the legendary Caster opting for coaching, and one would think of it two ways, to say, as an athlete and an athlete that has done well there, grabbing Olympic medallions and doing well on the international stage, eventually you would opt to hang up your spikes and opt for coaching so that you can plow back to the upcoming athletics generation. But the other issue could also be that the unfairness that she felt she had to go through because of this high testosterone or superior testosterone could have also driven her to the direction of coaching. What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, we try and work with all our athletes to provide a pathway for life after competition. And Custer has rightfully chosen that path so that she can support her family as well. She's not only coaching, she's a businesswoman in her own right. She has her own foundation as well. And she's already contributing and returning back into the community from her exceptional career in sport. We welcome that and we encourage that with all athletes. And we will support Custer in her endeavors.
With the latest from the Court of Law, what does it imply and where to from here for Caster Semenya?
Well, that, as I said, that's up to her and her legal team. We will first and foremost consult with them before we make any decisions in that regard, because that is their right as to inform us which direction they would like to take, and we will await that consultative process.
14:07 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, we are talking to the president of SASCOC, Barry Hendricks, on all things athletics, including the major case of Caster Semenya, the legendary Olympian and athlete who's been in and out of court for quite a number of years right now. So Barry Hendricks, just on the issue of high testosterone, what have you observed out there? Is it a scenario that World Athletics is treating with fairness whenever this case comes up, or it looks like it's targeting certain individuals?
Well, the case or the element has been taken up even further now by the new president of the IOC, President Kirsty Coventry, and she has called for a common approach across all federations and all international bodies. And she's called for a consultative process in this regard, and I look forward to that process taking place.
So, Hendricks, we are in 2025, and it goes to show that the clock is ticking. It is on a downhill towards the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. What is the latest from South African Sports Confederation and Olympic Committee point of view when these athletes are preparing for this upcoming Olympics in 3 years' time, which, by the way, is not a lot of time because of just how rapid the clock goes?
Yes, it's really not a lot of time. It's 3 years to go. And essentially, we are like all other countries around the world and in Africa, are working with our athletes on this long-term vision to prepare them for LA 2028 and also for Brisbane 2032. We in South Africa have got a program called Operation Excellence, Bidvest Operation Excellence, where we supply the athletes with funding on a monthly basis to cover their basic needs and coaching, travel, etc. Over our 3 tiers. And with this in mind, we also work with our national federations in preparing those athletes because we don't train the athletes. We provide the support. It's the federations that provide the competition and provide the specific coaching for all the athletes that endeavor to become Olympians and Paralympians in 2028.
14:09 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, this is Africa at Play. A very warm welcome. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African Time. We are talking to Barry Hendricks, the president of the South African Sports Confederation, Olympic and Paralympics Committee, shortened for SASCOC. So Hendricks, please just stay on the line. We take a short break. When we come back, our conversation continues on all things African athletics.
Parlez-vous couramment le français? Êtes-vous passionné par radio? Et êtes-vous qualifié pour travailler en Afrique du Sud? Envoyez-nous votre CV et vos 3 minutes démo en MP3 à @channelafrica.co.za pour avoir une chance de rejoindre la famille Channel Africa. Si vous n'avez pas de réponse après 14 jours, cela signifie que vous n'avez pas été retenu. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
You like what we do on Channel Africa? Then follow us on our socials. Channel Africa 1 on all social pages. And get the African perspective. From football fields to finish lines.
Eliud Kipchoge storms into the history books.
Neto Chemane brings you sports on Africa at Play.
14:11 Central African Time. You are still tuned in to Africa at Play, the continent's best sports and music destination. We are live on DSTV Audio Bouquet Channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are based in South Africa. If not, worry not, we've got you covered. You can access us from any corner of the world on channelafrica.co.za. We still have Mr. Barry Hendricks, who is the president of the South African Sports Confederation Olympic and Paralympics Committee, SASCOC, talking all things athlete support. And we started with the conversation about Caster Semenya, whose case about the superior testosterone has been in and out of the court of law. And one would think that athletes belong to the field of play, but hey, we live in different times. It's not always the case. So Hendricks, let's also check into the African Union Sports Council AUSC Region 5 Youth Games. What update do you have for us? They are currently taking place in Swakopmund in Namibia. Is South Africa well represented? And talking support, what kind of support did you provide to Team South Africa?
We sent a team of over 250 people to attend the games. The games were split between two cities, Swakopmund in Namibia, as well as on the coast, as well as in the capital city of Windhoek. In Swakopmund, we had athletics and swimming, and we had the rest of the different sports in Windhoek: boxing, football, basketball, netball, table tennis, judo, all taking place in Windhoek.
The calendar must be jam-packed because from the 16th to the 20th of July is another exciting event, the Under-18, Under-20 Athletics Championships taking place at the capital of Ogun State in Abeokuta, Nigeria. Talk to us about the support that you are giving to Team South Africa. The teenage athletes are doing the most out there, and these are the future stars. So every support goes a long way, especially because these are also potential candidates for upcoming editions of World Championships and Olympics.
Yes, so let's just talk about what happened here in terms of South Africa's successes. We have topped the medal table. We have over 130 medals currently. There are quite a few finals taking place today. Tennis, volleyball, basketball, and tomorrow I think it's going to be the men's and women's, or the boys and girls football, and South Africa is in all of those finals. So there's an increase in medal tally as well. We currently have over 21 medals brought in by swimming, over 24 medals brought in by athletics, and we surpassed the 40 gold medal mark a few days ago. So we are quite happy that those athletes have already performed in Southern Africa, and now they'll be able to, and this is an under-20 tournament, so they'll be able to perform and show their skills at the next event. And through Athletics South Africa, they have our support. Some of those athletes are on Operation Excellence already, and we look forward to them growing even further into better athletes as they grow.
If you have just joined us, we are talking to Barry Hendricks, the president of the South African Sports Confederation and Olympic and Paralympic Committee, SASCOC, Mr. Barry Hendricks. Mr. Hendricks, when Team South Africa is doing well in terms of grabbing those podium finishes, especially the gold medallions, does that make life easy for a mother body like SASCOC in terms of getting that automatic ticket, so to put it, to draw in the attention of the corporate world to come on board and support sports in South Africa?
No doubt. Good news brings in more good news. And we try and maintain a level of awareness throughout our various media platforms. We've been sending out updates daily on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and then we also via WhatsApp, via our newsletter, our daily newsletter, to keep people abreast of what's going on. So we are very happy that our sponsors feel proud about being associated with a winning nation and a winning team, and a young nation and a young winning team in that sense. They are well kitted out. They are looked after while they're here, and most of them will be traveling back home by plane today and tomorrow. Some of them have already returned home and are safe and sound. And that is the role of SASCOC. SASCOC is about preparing the Team South Africa, delivering Team South Africa, supporting Team South Africa, and then caring for them from the moment they leave their houses to when they get back home. And we are proud of that a motto of ours to keep our athletes safe and successful.
We are in the second half of the year in 2025. What's on your to-do list as SASCOC in giving athletes support throughout the rest of their sporting calendar?
Well, there are many events still taking place. So SASCOC, because SASCOC is not only an Olympic, Paralympic, it's a Commonwealth body, it's a World Games body, it's a International Beach Games body, it's an Africa Games body, as well as a AUSC delivery agent. So throughout the next few months, the next thing is, the big one is the World Games in Chengdu, China. Then we have the World Para-Athletics. Then we have the World Para-Swimming. And then we also have the Youth Games in Angola still coming up. And these are just some of the events. In between, we also have the world events, such as the World Athletics in Japan. And our athletes therefore have a full schedule of activities throughout the year. And over and above that, we've been bringing in medals from day one of this year, where we've had athletes, the world's strongest man, world's strongest women, paddle, cycling, men and women, world champions. So it's been a very good year. Our boys in the rugby sevens, and you can see the Springboks team playing for the rest of this year as well. So we're very happy with the state of South African sport, because the good news keeps rolling in.
Barry Hendricks is the president of the South African Sports Confederation and Olympic and Paralympics Committee, SASCOC, and we're talking about all things essentials under the umbrella of sport in South Africa and the African continent. So Hendricks, we're still going to have a conversation with the Deputy Station Commander at National Sea Rescue Institute Station in Table Bay, Paula Armstrong, who is currently training to swim the English Channel, a prestigious open water swim in the world taking place in August. The English Channel is a 33-kilometer unassisted open water swimming between England and France, and the main reason for her is to raise funds for the African Women Chartered Accountants, AWCA, Refund. What are your thoughts on some of these initiatives that are driven through sport?
There are many initiatives that we really appreciate and encourage when athletes go out there and using their personal brand and events, try and bring in more money from the corporate sector or from other funders. So I welcome it, and I congratulate her on her attempt. It's like our football teams, Banyana, Bafana, Namachita, have all made us proud this year, and using that positive force and positive drive, we encourage everyone to participate, to develop their sport. It's something that you should be looking at as a TV, as a radio station, is to try and talk to the president of South African Life Saving, because they save lives every year. Over 1,500 lives are being saved by them, and their story is very important to hear as well, because they not only are sport, a national federation, but they also provide a service to society in saving lives when needed at the beach, rivers and dams. So we also encourage you to engage with that aspect of sport. And I don't mind passing on their contact details, so that we can also celebrate the magnificent work that they are doing in developing and saving South African lives.
Indeed, Sir Hendricks, thank you for that. And just to add to that, there's also the Learn to Swim program that is driven by Swimming South Africa, as well as the mother body of Swimming in Africa, Aquatics Africa. So thank you so much. It is indeed great initiatives, especially because young kids out there those who haven't learned
Yes.
how to swim could just be troubled with issues like drowning, and we don't want to lose lives before time. Thank you so much for talking to us on Africa at Play. Your parting shot as we say goodbye.
It's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you and your listeners once again. Please don't hesitate to invite us. Good luck with your radio station, and get the message across to everyone that sport is not just a competition. It's about changing people's lives and changing people's communities for the better as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much indeed. That was the South African Sports Confederation Olympic and Paralympic Committee SASCOC President Barry Hendricks talking to us on Africa at Play. And that's how we wrap up our conversation. We take a short break. When we come back, all things Africa at Play continues.
Este é o Caleidoscópio de Canal África, com Remo Samo e João Yabalá.
O surto da cólera em Angola tem causado grande preocupação, afetando já mais de metade das províncias do país. Simultaneamente, a Agência dos Estados Unidos para o Desenvolvimento Internacional, USAID, um dos maiores doadores mundiais de assistência humanitária, decidiu não priorizar os países com maior incidência de malária. Para discutirmos as causas do alastramento da cólera em Angola e os impactos dessa decisão da USAID, convidamos o Dr. Jeremias Agostinho, médico e mestre em saúde pública, para partilhar a sua visão sobre o tema.
A doença, nesse momento, representa o maior risco de saúde pública que nós temos. Nos últimos anos, a nossa preocupação esteve sempre centrado com os casos de malária, os casos de tuberculose e também de infecção por VIH-Sida. A forma como, em pouco menos de 2 meses, os casos de cólera vêm aumentando, acaba por representar, nessa altura, um dos maiores desafios que o país tem. É expectável que, nesta fase, o número de casos venha a aumentar.
De segunda a sexta-feira, das 20 às 21 horas locais, este é o Caleidoscópio de Canal África.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
14:22 Central African Time. This is Africa at Play. Asteleli Siashaya. We are live on DSTV Audio Bouquet, channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are based in South Africa. Otherwise, you can reach us from any corner of the world on channelafrica.co.za. Also available at your fingertips on SABC+. My name is Neto and Neto Chemane. Thank you for listening. Should you miss out on any of our conversations, so worry not, please do visit our Channel Africa website. Click on Programs and search for Africa at Play. At the bottom right screen of Africa at Play, you can click on More to access those conversations. Thank you so much. And also, please do get in touch with us on our different social media platforms. On Instagram and X is at Channel Africa 1. And on Facebook, the name of our station, Channel Africa. Let's take a quick flight to East Africa and land in Kampala, Uganda, where our legendary correspondent, Sam Mpoza, is standing by to update us on the latest in East African and Ugandan sport. This is Africa at Play.
The Rugby Africa Cup is the biggest sports activity taking place in Kampala this week. The 8-teams tournament kicked off on Tuesday with 4 games which saw Zimbabwe beat Morocco 43-8, Algeria overcame Ivory Coast by 41-6 points, and Namibia beat Senegal by 55-17 points before the East African derby that saw Kenya beat hosts Uganda by 32-24 points. For Team Uganda, this was a bad day in office.
First, congrats to Kenya for winning the game and for giving us that contest in the game. It was a bad day for us. Things didn't work out well for us, especially in the second half. We tried to play our game plan, which worked for us in the first half, although we were away behind. We tried pulling out later on, but time wasn't on our side. Hopefully we improve on that more in the next games. The tournament is not yet done. We still have 2 more games to go. Hopefully we correct our mistakes. But I'm so proud of the boys. Really stayed in the contest till the last minute, which is a plus for us. And well done, boys. Of course, we go back to the drawing board. Like I said, it wasn't a good day for us in office. We take what the outcome from the game. We go back to the drawing board and focus on these other games remaining.
And for Kenya, it was a hard-fought win.
It has been a very tight game. The energy, the fans. I think rugby is a game of chances. We utilized our chances well, that's why we won. And Uganda is a good team. It is always a pleasure to play Uganda. It's always a derby. because we are neighbors. Yeah, so it was a tough game.
I think the boys are still feeling a bit sore because the game was very physical and very hard. And I must say, well done to Uganda for giving us this physical and hard game. We always knew if you play Uganda, it's going to come down till the last minute. And yeah, we were lucky to get the win. So now the focus are on Zimbabwe. Mentally, it took a lot out of us, and I think the same with Uganda, because it's knockout stages. If you lose, you're not there. And yeah, and I think mentally it took a lot of the players for the whole week. Last week when we prepared here, the focus were on this game, and really after the game the guys were relieved. I'm sure Uganda, obviously the results didn't go their way, but I think both teams were relieved after the game, because that game was the most important game, I think, for both of us.
The game against Uganda was a tight one. The lesson we picked from the game is we have to fight till the end. At the end we really relaxed, and that really cost us, and we were pinned to the corner. And heading to the next game, we want to play to the last minute, and that's our main focus. Uganda has always been a better team, a good team. They always brought us the challenge, and yeah, they really pushed us to the corner, and we really had to dig deep. It's always a derby playing against Uganda, the East African derby, and feeling bad for them, but it's sports. They must be a winner and a loser, and that's it.
The tournament continues on Sunday with placement games before the finals that will see Algeria take on Namibia and Zimbabwe coming up against Kenya. Kenya's coach Paul Waters and his players believe playing against Zimbabwe is a tall order.
Yeah, look, like I say, the focus are now on Zimbabwe. We know they're currently the champions. We the underdogs. We prefer to be the underdogs. But it's going to be another challenge. Zimbabwe has other challenges. They're quite well balanced side. They also have quick and fast backs who like to run the ball. So yeah, it's going to come down how we work our defense, and when we have the ball, if we can convert it into points, because every point is going to count on Sunday. Last year we had 3 days to prepare before we came here. This time around we spent a month in SA to prepare with quite tough games. We played the junior box twice, and we played some club guys. We played Boland Currie Cup side, we played Western Province Currie Cup side, we played SWD. So we played, in total, we played about 9 games. And then the last week we went down to the Bulls to play the Bulls Barbarians, Blue Bulls Limpopo. Yeah, so I think the prep in SA helped us a lot. If we didn't have that, it would have been tough to come here. So yeah, I think our guys are well prepared, and now it's just on the execution that we basically work. If we execute properly, then you never know where the result can go.
The semi-final against Zimbabwe, we focus more on ourselves. I want to execute our structure, which didn't go well in the game against Uganda. So in the game against Zimbabwe, we want to focus more on ourselves, focus on our structure, and I'm sure it will carry the day. Being a World Cup qualifying year, we really have to release all our bullets. And yeah, we have to, in the semi-final, every point will matter. The 3, 5, 7, and that's what we're going for.
And finally, from Kampala, the women national basketball team, the Gazelles, left the country this week for Egypt, where they will pitch camp for a few days before continuing the journey to Ivory Coast for the AfroBasket finals. We spoke to head coach Nick Natuhereza and player Jamila Nanskombi and listened to what they had to tell us ahead of their departure.
It's been 4 intense days. We've so far covered a number of things to get ourselves ready for the for the upcoming tournament, and yeah, I think we've made progress from day one. Luckily for us, the girls have been in season, and many of them are in some decent shape, so yeah, so far so good. And we had a lot of talk way before we even started training here for the players who are not around, to make sure they do a lot to stay fit, get in shape.
I feel totally great. It feels good to be back on time and actually have enough time to prep with the team. I feel like that's a privilege, and I'll have quite an advantage for not just me but the team entirely. So far, personally, I've been enjoying the camp, and I feel like everybody else has. Just continuing to learn and play off of each other, and continuing to get plays together and understand each other a lot better. I feel like that'll put us in a great position when we come to competing with everybody else. Personally, I feel like the Egypt tournament had me really tired, so I feel like right now I have a little more time to actually get my body back in shape and actually be able to play like myself, or actually add something onto the team like everybody else. The life is absolutely great. It's felt not just for me, but for the Gazelles entirely. We do appreciate you guys. Continue supporting me, but also continue supporting the Gazelles at large. That energy that you give us is very motivating, and I do believe that it pushes us to be better competition to other people.
Well, that is all we had time for from Kampala. My name is Sam Poza. Enjoy the rest of the show.
14:31 Central African Time. Thank you to Simon Boza all the way from Kampala in Uganda for updating us on the latest in Ugandan and East African sport. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. The Deputy Station Commander at National Sea Rescue Institute Station in Table Bay, Paula Armstrong, who is currently training to swim the English Channel, a prestigious open water swim in the world taking place in August, that is next month. The English Channel is a 33-kilometer unassisted open water swim between England and France, all taking place in Europe. And the main reason is to raise funds for the African Women Chartered Accountants, AWCA Bursary Fund. On Swimming for a Purpose, Armstrong aims to raise 500,000 rands for AWCA's Bursary Fund, aimed at facilitating access to the profession and accelerating the advancement of black female chartered accountants. Paula, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Hi there. Thank you so much for having me.
You must be very brave to take on a challenge like that. 33 kilometers is not a child's play, whether one is walking, driving, or swimming. And here you are taking it up in the water, swimming for a good cause. Talk to us about what triggered this interest to take this challenge.
You know, they always say never waste a good crisis, and I think for me this is very much a midlife crisis for me. It's been on my bucket list for many years. I've been a swimmer as long as I can remember, and always on my list was to swim this channel from England to France. And in the last couple of years, I've come across the African Women Chartered Accountants Forum, and they're really an organization that have found their way into my heart. And I thought, well, why not marry this bucket list item that I have with raising funds for this incredible organization.
As a little girl, what did you get up to? I'm starting to think that swimming was one of those sporting codes that you in.
It was one that my parents decided from a very early age we should be involved in, and something that has meant a lot to me throughout my life. As I've grown into my adult years, and as my knees have given up on me, as my cartilage has realized exactly how old it is, swimming has been a wonderful way to keep active. Low impact sport, a full body workout, and something that I've been privileged enough to do throughout my life. And I'm very honored to take on this ultimate challenge.
And talking about this challenge, explain it to us so that our listeners and viewers can understand it better. How does it work? Here you are taking up this challenge, swimming for 33 kilometers, but how practically do you raise these funds?
So we have a Back a Buddy campaign, which you can access via the African Women Chartered Accountants Forum Network. The website is awca.co.za. And on their landing page, there is a link to the fundraising campaign where you can click into the Back a Buddy platform and make any donations that you like. So in the build up to the swim, obviously the fundraising campaign is live. And while I'll be swimming, there will be somebody from the AWCA updating everybody on my progress. So you can follow the progress of my swim on the AWCA social media platforms, and there will be a link to the fundraising campaign there. It'll run until the end of August. So the idea is that between now and the end of August, we raise as many funds as possible to go towards the AWCA's bursary campaign.
And Paula, here you are as a white woman advocating for advancement of black chartered accountants. This must be something big. How did you get there?
So the AWCA, I think this is where what really makes the organization very special to me is it is an organization which is aimed towards the advancement of African women in South Africa, African women in the Chartered Accounting Network. But what's very special about this organization is just how inclusive it is. So I am allowed to be a member of the AWCA, an associate member, and I'm invited to all of the events. And it's been a real watershed moment for me to really gain an understanding of what it's like to be a black woman in corporate South Africa. I know how hard it is to be a woman in the corporate space in South Africa, and I cannot imagine the added challenge of being a black woman in South Africa. But I'm allowed access to the spaces. I'm allowed to listen to the speakers, attend the workshops that the AWC arranges. And through these opportunities, I've developed a very real understanding of just what this organization does. It meets the women as in a really authentic and raw way, as professionals, as accountants, as mothers, and really gives them every opportunity to become their full selves in their career in this prestigious profession. So it's an organization that's very important to me. And my message to the AWCA is, I see you, I support you. Thank you for the work you're doing for black women in South Africa, and thank you for the work you're doing in South Africa. I think it's vitally important, and we have a long way to go to make things right in this country.
14:37 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a warm welcome to Africa at Play. We are talking to the Deputy Station Commander at National Sea Rescue Institute Station in Table Bay, Paula Armstrong, who has taken a challenge to take a swim in the English Channel, a prestigious open water swim in the world taking place in August. The English Channel is a 33-kilometer unassisted open water swim between England and France, and the main reason is to raise funds for the African Women Chartered Accountants AWCA Bursary Fund. Paula, as we wrap up this conversation, let's talk about the level of fitness. How long have you been preparing for this upcoming 33-kilometer challenge?
I'd like to tell you I've been preparing my whole life, but I've actually been focusing on a training program for about 2 years in the build-up to the swim. So there's an incredible amount of mileage, but a very important part of the training is cold water conditioning. We'll be swimming in the Northern Atlantic Ocean, so I'll need to be conditioned to be able to swim in that cold water for about 12 hours, which is something I'm really, really not looking forward to, but something I've been working on for a long time.
Not a child's play indeed. And if you don't mind me asking, how many years are we talking since you've been preparing your entire lifetime?
Let's say less than 41, but more than 39.
Less than 41, more than 39. I like it. That sounds like 4 decades. Thank you so much, Paul Armstrong, for talking to us on Africa at Play. Final one from me. As you are going on this good cause under the umbrella of Black Chartered Accountants, but you using sport as a tool to do so, what are some of the stories you've shared with these organizations that you sit with, including the Black Chartered Accountants organization? Because people there could be professionals, but they've got a history of participating in sports during their youthful days.
The message is never lose that. I think for me, swimming has been an incredible way to just remain in touch with myself and to remind myself that outside of my professional identity, outside of my professional career, there are other identities, there's other parts of me that are very important, and these are parts that you can put to good use in advancing the causes of others. So never lose sight of that. And it doesn't have to be an English Channel swim. It can be a 5K run in the morning. It can be getting up and walking around the block. It's so important. It's so important to you, for your health, but also to the way in which you can contribute to your community. So hang on to that and use it in the best way that you can.
Is there a similar scenario like the English Channel on the African continent, or it's one of those that still needs to be given attention?
In recent years, there have been more and more long-distance open water swims. One that is very much on my list to do is a swim across Lake Malawi. It's about a 20-kilometer swim. What makes the Lake Malawi swim really difficult is that it's in very warm water and in very warm conditions. So that's a very nice one to do. More recently, the swim across False Bay at Cape Point in South Africa, which goes from Simonstown to Royals, also a 33-kilometer swim, is an incredible challenge. So that is gaining more and more international recognition. And I think sort of as time goes along, we will find these long water swims, long distance open water swims in Africa. But very much sort of on the international watch list at the moment is the Lake Malawi swim. And you can do that through a company called Open Water Africa, and the False Bay swim, which you can do through a company called Big Bay Events in South Africa. So plenty to do on the continent too. And I really encourage people, particularly open water long distance swimmers, to take a look at these incredible swims. We have a lot to offer on this continent.
14:41 Central African Time. This brings us to the conclusion of our conversation with the Deputy Station Commander at National Sea Rescue Institute Station in Table Bay, Paula Armstrong, who is doing the most out there, going for the English Channel, a 33-kilometer open water unassisted swim. So you better be super fit, she says. We're talking about cold water, swimming there for about 12 hours. And I'm certain this differs on the level of different peoples in terms of their level of fitness. So Paula, thank you so much for talking to us on Africa at Play. All the best with this challenge, and let's hope that these kind of initiatives will reach the highest possible ears in terms of our principles on the African continent, so that we continue to develop the African continent in different industries.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
14:42 Central African Time. We take a short break. Definitely we will be back, even if it rains with hot, soft porridge. This is Africa at Play. Astelil Siashaya.
Stella Longwe, Pamalonje.
Palitu sokoma pano pamalonje. Kumvera nyimbo za mu Africa, kusangala, kupeza moyo. Akuti kumva moyo kuti kuyenda bwino. Pano pamalonje. Ndiyetu apa tili ndikatswiri oyimba ameneyu ndikatswiri wa dziko la Malawi amene akukhala dziko la South Africa, ndipo amayimba amene akuti ndi Big Nick Malawi. Yatusati kuti kodi moyo wanu woyimba ukuyenda bwanji mu Johannesburg?
Moyo woyimba ukuyenda bwino wambiri. Chiliyonse chikuteka ndithu bwino.
Ayi aziwoneka yonse chikuteka mofa magrasi anu apa mwaka. Akuti kumenya yonse aziwoneka zoti azikuteka ndithu mu Johannesburg.
Malonje, panthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo. Lowiruka ndi Stella Longwe.
It up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Kumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Lekwaleni and Matseko Musito. Tamengo Bene talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique, with Joël Muteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Mariamo Kumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Lekwaleni and Matseko Musito. Tamengo Bene talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Muteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Mariamo Kumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Lekwaleni and Matseko Musito. Tamengo Bene talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Muteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Mariamo Kumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Lekwaleni and Matseko Musito. Tamengo Bene talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique, with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Mariamo Kumalo comes in 8 till 9.
Play if you have just joined us. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African time. It was a double play, a song titled Mapos by Diamond Platinums featuring DJ Melody, and before that we played you Justin Vibes, Uzozi Sola featuring Diamonds of Guijo and Azul Sirene. Let's bring you up to speed with regards to our topic under the umbrella of football on the African continent. Most African countries have challenges of lack of sport facilities and infrastructure, yet when the sport federations are granted hosting rights, such countries get opportunities to develop their facilities. Morocco hosted WAFCON in 2022 and is hosting the ongoing WAFCON. For a number of years, South Africa has been hosting the COSAFA tournament and many other examples relevant to this. Why can't football mother bodies like COSAFA and CAF rotate the tournaments to allow other countries a chance to develop their sport facilities? You can share your thoughts via our WhatsApp voice note line, which is +2763 406 9126. That number again is +2763 406 9126. For now, let's take a flight back to East Africa and land in Nairobi, Kenya, where our correspondent Francis FM Mutegi is standing by to fill us up with the latest in Kenyan sport.
Kenya believes it is well prepared and ready for the Africa Football Championship that is set to take place next month here in Nairobi, Kampala and Dar es Salaam. The Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Salim Mvurya, believes they have given the team all it will take to prepare well for CHAN 2024.
This is a team that we believe in, and I want to rally all Kenyans to rally and support Harambee Stars. This is a team also which is reflective of Kenya, and therefore it is a great lesson for patriotism in our country, because when it comes to Harambee Stars, there's no region, there's no political party, there's no tribe. What we see is Kenya, our players carrying the Kenyan dream.
The Cabinet Secretary says the final confirmation of the facilities being prepared for the tournament is set for Wednesday next week, when the Federation will officially launch all the sports facilities to be used.
Next week, we will take over the other training grounds, and including Nyayo, on Wednesday next week. We'll be able now to allow the local organizing committee to do other things in those facilities. But now we are happy with the preparations. I want to now tell Kenyans that CHAN is here. Let us take this opportunity to profile our country positively. Let us take the opportunity to profile our tourism, our diversity in our cultures, and the diversity of our potential as a country.
Meanwhile, the government of Kenya has given coach Benny McCarthy and his technical bench a free hand to prepare the national team Harambee Stars for the African Football Championship CHAN.
On behalf of the government, I want to assure the technical bench and FKF and our national team that we will continue to support them so that they can deliver victory here in Nairobi on the 30th of August. Where the finals will be played.
The president of FKF, Hussein Mohammed, is happy with the work done to prepare for the tournament.
There are so many people who did not believe that we would be able to host this tournament, and it is here with us. We have done everything possible together with this government to ensure that we've given them everything they need to succeed.
The Federation 2, Football Kenya Federation, has endorsed Benny McCarthy's selection of players to carry to the next event.
I think the one thing many Kenyans have been concerned about over or in the past about selection of teams, I want to again reiterate that the team selection is purely at the discretion of the national coach and his technical bench. The Secretariat of the Federation, including myself, have absolutely no say in how the players are selected, and we want to keep it that way.
McCarthy and his technical bench have expressed satisfaction with the support they are getting, while revealing that they did everything at their disposal to prepare for CHAN.
I'm here to bring success to this country, and the players that we've selected is the players that we've seen, the players that I've had in camp, and they were just unfortunate when you go and play World Cup qualifiers, international players come, so you can't select everyone. So now it's based on local camp. So those are the players that you've seen, and you see the qualities and where they can take the team. So do you risk taking someone based on a couple of good games, or knowing what you're going to have when you've seen players? And that's how we selected.
Indeed, he says he's conscious of the critics, but that wouldn't derail his preparations because he's focused, even if it remains winning the tournament.
We know everyone is not going to be happy with how the team is selected, but everyone has not been where I've been. So I have an eye, and I know talent when I see one, and the players that we've selected, that we picked, were by far the players that I think and the technical team think that can take this team. We're not going to just participate in the CHAN. We're here to make a statement. We're here to go as far as possible, hopefully even winning the tournament. And the boys that you see there, those are the boys that I think that's got the capability of taking this team to where we should be.
The CHAN 2024 tournament will be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania this August after being postponed twice before. The National Olympics Committee of Kenya has launched a refugees youth team at the Kakuma refugee camp in northern Kenya. The launch was done by President of NOC, Paul Target. NOC President Target took part in the selection of some 16 girls and boys to form the Olympics Committee's refugee team for the youth for the event in Dakar 2026.
This is very exciting, especially now that we are launching officially the team to Dakar Youth Olympic Games, and you can see the 16 of them looking forward, very eager, very excited to be part and parcel, especially being elected or selected to be part of this team. And I believe that from now on, for the next team, maybe 1 year, all will go well, especially for their participations.
The Youth Olympics are scheduled for Dakar, Senegal next year. Elsewhere, the two women, Faith Kipyegon and Beatrice Chebet, who recently broke world records, have acknowledged that their focus now shifts to the World Championships that are set for September in Tokyo. Faith says,
Hii ni huge achievement kwangu to break my own record every year, like kuanzia 2023 mpaka sasa bado na break my own record. Hiyo ni achievement kubwa sana, nashukuru Mungu sana.
Chebet says,
Mimi nasema I'm so happy for myself, and for now just focus on World Championship Tokyo. Yeah, main goal ni hiyo. World Championship goal peke yake ndio sina, so everyone is aiming for a gold medal. It's not easy thing because we are going there. Kuna Agnes, kuna Faith, kuna other athletes from Ethiopia, different countries, so huwezi sema naenda huko niende nilete tu, so you have to go work hard.
Faith broke the world record in 1500 meters, while Chebet became the first woman to run 5,000 meters in under 14 minutes. They insist that they have no intentions of relenting. The World Championships are scheduled for Tokyo later this year, and the double Olympic gold duo of Faith Kipyegon and Beatrice Chebet will try to win the World Championship crowns to make it double of their wins, as they did at the Olympic Games. For Channel Africa Sports in Nairobi, Kenya, I'm Francis Mutegi.
1500 Central African Time. That was our correspondent from East Africa in Nairobi, Kenya, Francis FM Mutegi, updating us on the very latest in Kenyan sport. We will be talking to our teenager in sport, a sprint sensation, Karabo Letebele, who will be part of Team South Africa heading to the capital of Ogun State in Abeokuta, Nigeria, for the Under-18, Under-20 Athletics African Championships, kicking off on the 16th of July and concluding on the 20th of July. Mzansi, this is more than just a game. It is a celebration of history. 30 years ago, the Springboks united our nation with that iconic Rugby World Cup victory, and now the Mighty Boks are back. Don't miss South Africa take on Italy in the 30th anniversary commemoration match this Saturday, the 12th of July at 1600 Central African Time. Watch it live on SABC2 or stream it anywhere on SABC Plus app. Download the SABC Plus app today on iOS, Android, or your smart TV. Switch to stream. No subscription. SABC Sport, for the love of the game.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
15:01 Central African Time. Let's now welcome the teenage sensation Karabo Letebele to Africa at Play. This is a teenager who's doing the most out there and must be a celebrity as we speak, because recently, earlier this year, this is the same teenage sprint sensation who made headlines after beating Africa's fastest man, Ferdinand Omanyala, at the Athletics South Africa ASA Athletics Grand Prix 1. And the race saw Karabo Letebele clock an impressive personal best time of 10.19 seconds, defeating Emil Erasmus and Ferdinand Omanyala, who came in second and third respectively. And with the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles also coming up rapidly, it will be interesting to find out if he will be heading there. But what is more immediate is the Under-18, Under-20 African Athletics Championships slated for the capital of Ogun State in Abeokuta, Nigeria. Karabo, good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you back on Africa at Play. You are shining out there. All the best. How has the journey been so far?
It's been good. There's been some tough moments during the season. I've been struggling a bit with injury, but other than that, it's been good.
How do you deal with injuries? Because sometimes it's almost like they come when it matters the most, when you are doing well out there, when you are leading in headlines in terms of the awesome work that you do on the track, and here you go having to deal with injuries parallel to your progress.
I feel like my parents always motivate me, even when I'm hurt, just to keep on pushing, especially my parents and coaches. They always motivate me, even though I am hurt. The future is still bright, so just keep working hard and I'll be fine.
And at the moment, are you still struggling from any injury, or you are injury-free? And I'm asking this because we're counting just a few days before the Africa Under-18, Under-20 Athletics Championships kicking off in the capital of Ogun State in Abeokuta, Nigeria.
I am struggling a bit with a shin problem, but I think I'll be fine at Africans.
When you are struggling with an injury, yet you have such a big tournament to be part of, what goes in your mind? Do you put it behind and say, I've got to focus on the job at hand, which is being able to perform to your best under the circumstances? Or it's one of those where you have to trade carefully in terms of how you run so that you don't worsen that same injury that you're trying to recover from?
No, I just focus on the event that comes up next, because the whole season I have been struggling with injury, and I haven't had an injury that's so bad where I can't perform. So I just don't think much about it.
Are you still in the books of worldwide scholarships, WWS, and how's the partnership going?
Yes, I'm still with WWS. I came back yesterday from Sweden trip where I ran at the Gothenburg Youth Games.
How did it go?
It went well. I ran a meeting record there, 10:17. It was very good.
If you have just joined us, we are talking to the teenage sprint sensation Karabo Letebele of South Africa, who will be heading to West Africa, to the capital of Ogun State in Abeokuta for the Africa Under-18, Under-20 Athletics Championships. And he will be leaving South Africa soon. When are you leaving for Nigeria, Karabo?
We are leaving tomorrow night. Yeah,
Tomorrow
I think
night.
so. Yeah, tomorrow night. Yes.
And often in athletics, there's always those situations where, depending on the magnitude of the event, at times athletes are unable to be accompanied by their coaches. And it's one of those where you've got to rely on video coaching and all of that before the actual event. But once the event starts, there's no coach that's going to say, go out there and show the world what you are made up of, except for the last message you would have received from your coaching team before the actual race. What is the status quo? Are you traveling with your coaching team?
No, I never travel with my coach. My coach always, from a young age, told me to be independent by myself. He told me what to do. Then it's my job to go do it at the event.
Do you think if the tables were turned around and you were spoiled to having your coaching team on your side from a tender age to date, the situation would have been different? Or you are happy with that sermon of your coach to say, be independent because it will do you good growing up to be able to stand on your own even when I'm not there?
No, I'm happy with what my coach has told me from a young age. I've learned to adjust without him being there and know how to understand my body if I'm 100% or not.
Talk to us about your coach. Who is your coach and how is it working with your coach?
My coach is Coach Herman Fenske from Transvaal, and I've worked with him from when I was 12 years old. He's really been good to me.
And when you have a coach and you are in athletics or any sporting coach, they also become your double barrel kind of a parent. Talk to us about your coach playing that father role, as an additional parent, which makes you blessed because then you've got someone on board who will be able to not only take you through the journey of athletics, but also the journey of life.
Yes, my dad always teases him and he calls him my white dad. But Coach Herman has really been someone who's always been there for me. Even when I was younger, he would come pick us up, me and my little brother, from our house and take us to training and even stay late at gym and gives us life advice, So he's really been a great parent figure in my life.
If you have just joined us, this is Africa at Play, and we welcome you with open hands. Thank you so much for joining us. We are talking to the teenage sprint sensation, Karabo Letebele of South Africa, who will be heading to the capital of Ogun State for the Africa Under-18, Under-20 Championships. He's leaving tomorrow night so that he gets to Nigeria in good time to be able to acclimatize to the weather conditions and the facilities in Abeokuta. Karabo, let's talk about you traveling tomorrow night. Does that give you enough time to be able to settle in Nigeria and be able to do your thing come the 16th?
Yes, I think we'll be there a day before, right? So I'll be settled by then. You don't need much more time. Just need to be there a day before, then you'll be fine.
It is a big event. It has been reported to be attracting about 943 athletes from different parts of the African continent. Does that intimidate you when it's time before you do your thing on the track, when you realize just how massive the event is in terms of those that will be on board for different disciplines in athletics and the spectators around?
No, it's actually quite motivating and exciting to run at such a big event.
If you have just joined us, we are talking to Karabo Letebele, our teenager in sport, a teenage sensation who specializes in sprinting and will be heading to West Africa, to the capital of Ogun State, Abeokuta, for the Africa Under-18 and Under-20 Athletics Championships. Karabo, please just stay on the line. We take a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues with the teenager in sport, Karabo Letebele. This is Africa at Play. Asteleli Siashai.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Mix Vibration sur Channel Africa.
C'est notre invité du jour, la belle Aïna Mwenze. Elle est là, certaines l'appellent Boss Lady.
Bonjour Monsieur Jolino.
Parlez-nous un tout petit peu de vous.
Je m'appelle Boss Lady Aïna. Je mets l'accent sur le nom de Boss Lady parce que je mérite cela après le travail fait. Et c'est une rémunération en titre de la personne que je suis devenue aujourd'hui. Épouse et une mère de 4 garçons. Et voilà ce que je peux dire pour l'instant.
Et vous vous êtes lancé dans le business. Comment c'est venu?
En tant que mère et se retrouvant dans les pays étrangers, particulièrement en Afrique du Sud, je me disais que laisser les enfants sur la charge des travailleurs ou d'une bonne, ça serait pas très intéressant. Je me suis dit, bon, je dois essayer de m'organiser et trouver un emploi que je peux faire.
Mix Vibration, tous les dimanches de 18h à 19h, temps universel.
What are the teenagers up to if they are not in class? Let's get in touch with the teenager in sport.
15:11 Central African Time. Thank you for listening to Channel Africa. From an African perspective, this is Africa at Play. We are live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time on DSTV Audio Bouquet, Channel 802 or OpenView 628 for those based in South Africa. Those out of South Africa, worry not, you can always reach us from anywhere you are on channelafrica.co.za. Also available at your fingertips on SABC+. We still have the teenage sensation in our Teenager in Sport conversation, an athlete from South Africa, Karabo Letebele, who's gearing up for the big African occasion that is the Africa Under-18, Under-20 Athletics Championships that are slated for the capital of Ogun State in Abeokuta from the 16th to the 20th of July. He will be leaving tomorrow night, and he says, although it's short time, but it is good time enough for him to settle before the race begins. Karabo, what are you hoping to achieve in Ogun State in Abeokuta at the Africa Under-18 Athletics Championships?
Well, obviously to represent my country well and get a medal in my individual and both the relay. And I'll be hoping to break the World Under-20 4x1 relay record with my teammates.
What have you spoken about with your teammates ahead of this African Championships?
No, we're all just very excited, especially me because it's my first time representing South Africa. They have represented South Africa before, but I'm very excited.
You've been able to share the track with the greats when it comes to sprinting on the African continent and globally. The likes of Ferdinand Manyala, whom you've beaten earlier this year at the Athletics ASA Grand Prix, one that took place earlier this year. How is it dealing with people that you looked up to, and before you know it, you're sharing the track with them, and you're even beating them to the podium golden finish?
It was a bit like surreal, you know, because, I mean, like you say, we look up to these athletes, and when you see them live for the first time, you get a bit starstruck. But like my coach said, we all running to win, you know, so there's no longer Akani or Omenyala. It's just another opponent that you have to beat to the line.
15:13 Central African Time. We are talking to our teenager in sport, Karabo Letebele, a teenage sensation in sprinting, heading to the capital of Ogun State in Abeokuta, Nigeria, in West Africa. Have you been to Nigeria before, or this will be your first experience?
No, this will be my first time in Nigeria.
And what research have you conducted about Nigeria, or you believe in experiencing as it goes?
I believe in experiencing as it goes.
And in terms of the weather, have you done some research to find out what the current weather looks like and what it will take for you to be able to adjust so that you don't have a scenario where you perform only to come up and say, the weather was not in my favor?
My parents have looked it up. They say it's going to be nice weather. It's going to be nice and hot. But the weather doesn't really matter to me. Like, you just have to show up. Whether it's raining or snowing or sunny, show up and perform. That's all I have to do.
Except for this upcoming Africa Under-18, Under-20 championships taking place in Abeokuta, what else is on the calendar of Karabo Letebele for the rest of 2025?
That's something I still have to discuss with Mr. Munya because my European trip got cut short because of the African Championship, so I might go back to Europe after the African Championships.
How was your experience in Europe?
It was very nice. It was different from South Africa.
What's this one thing that you thought if it was up to you, you would take it to South Africa and implement so that you've got the best of both? You can enjoy life in South Africa, but also have a touch of something exciting that you've experienced in Europe.
It's definitely the facilities. I think all the stadiums I've been to have had indoor tracks, and that's where all the athletes warmed up before we went to the outside track. So that's something I'd definitely bring to South Africa.
Plans for 2028 Los Angeles Olympics coming up rapidly than we think. It's 2025. Before you know it, with us being in the second half of the year, it will be 2026 in no time.
Now, of course, all athletes dream to be at the Olympics, so that's definitely one of my goals.
Without adding any pressure, if that dream comes true and you make it to Los Angeles 2028, what is this one thing that you would like to experience when you get to Los Angeles, and what is it that you would like to achieve in making not just your parents and where you come from proud, but the entire continent, realizing that anyone that goes to international events, not only do they represent their countries, but their respective continents as well?
Just being there, I think, would make my parents very proud. But obviously, while being there, I want to be considered one of the best sprinters in the world. So I'd like to get an Olympic medal while I'm there.
Olympic medal is put out there to the universe for Karabo Letebele for Olympics 2028 in Los Angeles. And having seen what he does on the track, I'm certain nothing will be an obstacle for him to achieve that Olympic medallion. It will be nicer if it's gold, but hey, silver also counts for something. So is bronze. Your studies at the moment, what's the latest?
Sorry?
Your studies at the moment, what's the latest?
Yes, I'll be going to the American universities in August before making my final decision on which one I'm going to attend.
Interesting indeed. What have you learned from traveling to different countries? Because being an athlete opens up that door of traveling to different destinations, those you were dreaming of, never thought you would one day be able to go to, and you find yourself going to these countries like you go into the nearest mall.
No, traveling has been very eye-opening indeed because, like I said, in Sweden, the facilities, the people there are very much different to South Africa. And I've learned since coming back to appreciate what I have here in South Africa because the grass is not always green on the other side.
Karabo Letebele, the teenage sensation, heading to Nigeria for the Africa Under-18, Under-20 Athletics Championships taking place in the capital of Ogun State in Abeokuta from the 16th to the 20th of July. And today is the 12th, so you can see that it's happening in no time. Thank you so much, Karabo, for talking to South Africa at Play. Before I let you go, if you are not busy with your studies and athletics, what do you get up to?
I usually just relax at home or go watch my little brother play hockey and stuff, you know.
Karabo Letebele, teenage sensation from South Africa, heading to West Africa for the Africa Under-18, Under-20 Athletics Championships in Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State. Karabo, thank you so much. All the best from the entire Africa at Play team. Do what you are capable of doing and always put your mind and focus to the top prize. But even if you don't get it, enjoy every moment.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
15:19 Central African time. That was our teenager in sport, Karabo Letebele of South Africa, heading to West Africa for the highly anticipated Africa Under-18, Under-20 Championships taking place in Nigeria, Ogun State, the capital of Ogun State in Abeokuta. Mzansi, this is more than just a game. It's a celebration of history. 30 years ago, the Springboks united our nation with that iconic Rugby World Cup victory, and now the Mighty Boks are back. Don't miss South Africa up against Italy in the 30th anniversary commemoration match this Saturday, the 12th of July at 1600 Central African Time. Watch the match live on SABC2 or stream it anywhere on SABC Plus app. Download the SABC Plus app today on iOS, Android, or your smart TV. Switch to stream. No subscription. SABC Sport, for the love of the game. We're taking a short break. We'll definitely be back.
Exclusive to Africa at Play on Channel Africa. Teenagers in Sports with Neto Chemane. You heard something you like on Channel Africa and you would like to hear it again? Worry not, we've got your back. Just go to our website www.channelafrica.co.za and look for our podcast. Phone knowledge, Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Lekwaleni and Matseko Musito. Tamengo Bene talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique, with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1.
On DSTV Audio Bouquet, channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are in South Africa. Alternatively, you do not have to worry because you can always reach us from anywhere you are on channelafrica.co.za. Also available at your fingertips on SABC Plus. Let's now head out to West Africa and land in Lagos, Nigeria, where our correspondent Tony Robani is standing by to update us on the latest in Nigerian sport.
Nigeria Super Eagles have dropped from 43rd to 44th in the latest FIFA World Rankings released, reflecting a slight decline in global standing despite maintaining a strong position among African football nations. The rankings updated by FIFA following over 200 international matches played in recent months, including FIFA World Cup qualifiers and regional tournaments, placed Nigeria as the 5th highest ranked team in Africa. The top 4 teams on the continent remain Morocco 12th, Senegal 18th, Egypt 34th, and Algeria 36th. Despite the drop, Nigeria continues to rank ahead of long-standing regional rivals Ghana and South Africa, who occupy 76th and 56th positions globally and respectively. Ivory Coast, who recently overtook Nigeria in a previous ranking, now sit just below the Super Eagles after dropping 4 places. The Super Eagles' latest position comes after a period marked by mixed results, including friendly matches and tournament appearances. The ranking also reflects adjustments made by FIFA in response to outcomes in continental competitions such as the Unity Cup, in which Nigeria recently participated. Globally, Argentina retained the top spot, followed by Spain, France, England, and Brazil. Other African teams like Senegal recorded gains, with Senegal moving into the top 20 globally after a strong showing in recent matches. Zambia gained 5 places to 83rd, highlighting further movement within the continent's rankings. Nigeria's next opportunity to influence its position will likely come with the September round of World Cup qualifiers and scheduled friendlies ahead of the 2026 tournament. Flying Eagles head coach Aliu Zubairu says his team is focused on their preparation for the 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile. The 7-time African champions are already in Ghana for the Wafu B Under-20 championship that has kicked off. The competition will serve as part of the team's preparation for the World Cup. We are ready, but it's really not the competition we are here for, he said. We reconvened just a week ago because it was not the time for us to regroup and prepare for the World Cup, but we had to quickly reorganize because of this tournament. However, we are ready. The Flying Eagles are the defending champions, having won the last edition of the Wafu Under-20 Championship in Togo, where they beat Ghana in the final. Captain Daniel Bamayi is positive that the Flying Eagles will emerge winners in the regional competition to go to the World Cup in Chile well prepared. Daniel Bamayi speaks.
Very positive that we can qualify for the group stage. Yeah, because we have everything it takes. It all depends on our level of commitment and hard work, the level of seriousness we put in practice and our training sections. Yes, of the truth, we know we have to work on ourselves individually, collectively, as team, So I'm very positive because we have all it takes. We have everything that it takes to make sure we succeed at that tournament.
5 players have become eligible to feature for Nigeria's home-based Super Eagles at this year's African Nations Championships in Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya. The players are Abubakar Sadiq, Plateau United, Philip Adejo, Abia Warriors, Xavier Isaac, Rangers International, Papa Daniels Mustafa, Niger Tornadoes, and Aliu Ojetoye, Ikorodu City. According to the team's media officer, Promise Efoge, the 5 players have all moved out to sign for clubs outside Nigeria. Efoge also revealed that Ifeanyi Onyebuchi of Rangers and Ebenezer Harcourt will not be part of the squad for the tournament. The spokesperson disclosed that Onyebuchi is injured and will not report to camp, while Harcourt of Sporting Lagos will be busy with the Flying Eagles and the Under-20 Wafubi tournament in Ghana. The 2024 African Nations Championship CHAN, the premier tournament for Africa's home-based national footballers, will be staged from 2nd to 30th August across 3 East African countries, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. The participating teams must consist of players playing in the national league competitions. The DR Congo and Morocco are the most successful teams in this tournament with 2 titles each, followed by Tunisia, Libya, and incumbent champion Senegal with 1 title each. Ndoka Junior of Remo Stars and Ekeme Okon of Rivers United and Ikorodu City's Leonard Ngenge spoke to us on their training sessions in camp.
It was a good training session, the good training session we had both yesterday evening and this morning. It has been intense in camp, and as you can see, the boys are ready and are prepared for the task ahead. Definitely everyone is under pressure, but however, the coach wants the best among the 35 players. And
I see it as an opportunity, and so far, with the experience and what I see so far, it's been good. A bit pressure on us, because 35 players being invited, everybody is going to give out their best. So expectation for coach to do the selection. So for now, we keep pushing.
Due to what the coaches said, they said that obviously me being there is because I deserve it, and I'm just going to say thanks to God for me. It's an amazing step for me being there, so it's I'm I'm just going to say thanks to God. Yeah, obviously puts everyone under pressure, even myself, but obviously I just need to contain myself and do what best I can do to be on the coach's radar, and hopefully I get to that by the grace of God.
And from football, we now beam our satellites on table tennis to tell you Nigeria's top tennis star Quadri Arno has voiced his concerns over financial difficulties being faced by professional ping-pongers, stating that the earnings currently accruable from featuring in major international championships is nothing to write home about. Aruna, who made history as the first African to be ranked in the world's top 10 and represented Nigeria in 2012, 2016 and 2020 Summer Olympics, reaching the quarterfinals in 2016, shared the economic challenges athletes endure despite competing at elite levels. Back in the day, during the Challenge Series, Challenge Plus and Super Series, the prize money wasn't much, but we didn't play as many tournaments, so the costs were lower. Aruna explained, now it's extremely expensive. You could start from the group stage, get to the semi-finals and still end up with nothing, lamented the 36-year-old star. He stressed that players often bear the brunt of unpredictable match schedules and constant travel, which leads to mounting expenses. You may have to change your flights more than twice and pay for extra nights at the hotel. In the end, you have taken a huge risk and still come out with nothing. Citing a recent example from China, Arno elaborated, let's say you earn $8,000 for losing in the first round. After 20% tax is deducted, and you have spent about 1,600 euros on flights because you don't know your match day in advance and can't book a round trip, you may end up spending even more. Eventually, you are left with about 3,000 euros or even less. He added, you win money, pay tax, reinvest it into your next event, and in the end, your balance is zero. Does that really make any sense? Everything may look glamorous from the outside, but the truth is that nobody is really making money in table tennis. Despite these financial hardships, Aruna remains a trailblazer for African table tennis. In 2018, he was recognized by the Olympic organizers as Africa's most successful Olympic table tennis player of all time. Aruna Quadri speaks.
Challenge Plus, Major Series or Super Series, we were not winning so much money, but we were not paying a lot to play. We have the chance to play very cheap, but now you have to pay a lot. It's very expensive. And even if you risk it, you started from the group, you go to semi-final, you are still at zero. You must have changed your flight ticket more than 2 or 3 times. You must have paid more night. It's still nothing, you know. You take the risk, but the risk really does not worth it in the end because you are at zero in the end. I think this is the difference. You know, you will never be positive about the penalty. If you saw their database last year based on the prize money, they won $65,000. $65,000. When you play in China, the tax is 20%. So for example, you play in China, you lose in first round, it's $8,000. By the time they take out the 20%, probably your ticket is like 1,600 euros. Why? Because you don't know if you play on first day, second day or third day. So you are not able to buy a cheap ticket, you know, to come and go at once. So you have to buy ticket to go. And when you lose, you buy ticket again. So it's very expensive to buy the ticket. So probably in the end, you have like 3,000 euros in your pocket. Like you win money, you pay tax, you reinvest. In the end, you are at zero. Does that really make any sense? So what is the difference now? Everything looks beautiful, but nobody's winning money.
With just days to the start of the highly anticipated CAA African Under-18, Under-18, Under-20 African Athletics Championships, the atmosphere around Abeokuta is buzzing with activities. The capital of Ogun State prepares to welcome the continent's athletes for the 3rd African Under-18, Under-20 Athletics Championship scheduled to hold from 16th to 20th July. Top African athletes powerhouses South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia and Uganda have confirmed their travel dates and final team rosters, adding to the excitement building ahead of the event. South Africa is expected to land with one of the largest contingents, comprising 42 male athletes, 40 female athletes, and 18 officials, bringing their total delegation to 100. Kenya, another athletics giant, will be represented by 25 male athletes, 25 female athletes, and 17 officials, making a 67% delegation. Ethiopia is also bringing a strong team of 30 male athletes, 27 female athletes, and 12 officials, totaling 69. Uganda, known for its rising athletics profile, will participate with 9 male athletes, 13 female athletes, and 6 officials for a total of 28. The MK Abiola International Stadium in Abeokuta will welcome over 900 athletes and officials from no less than 40 countries, making the championship one of the biggest continental youth athletics gathering in recent history. Augustine Eguavoy, technical director of the Nigeria Football Federation, has made a passionate appeal to the Nigerian government to immortalize legendary Super Eagles goalkeeper Peter Rufai, who recently passed away. Eguavoy, a former teammate and coach, described Rufai as an icon of Nigerian football and said it would be a fitting tribute to name a stadium or sports facility in his honor. Rufai wasn't just a great goalkeeper, he was a symbol of excellence, patriotism, and humility, Eguavoy said. He gave everything for Nigeria. It's only right that his legacy is permanently remembered through something significant. Peter Rufai, affectionately known as Dodo Mayana, was a stalwart in Nigeria's golden era of football. He represented the national team in 2 FIFA World Cups in 1994 and 1998 and was instrumental in Nigeria's triumph at the 1994 Africa Cup of Nations. His leadership, professionalism, and charisma endeared him to both fans and teammates. Eguavoy urged both state and federal governments to consider naming a stadium or football academy after Rufai, saying such a gesture will inspire future generations of players who often wait too long to celebrate our heroes. He said, Rufai deserves this, while his legacy is still fresh in the minds of Nigerians. Since Rufai's passing, tributes have continued to pour in from across the football community. Many have recalled his sportsmanship, discipline, and his contributions to Nigeria's rise on the international football stage. Eguavoy concluded by stating that immortalizing Peter Rufai would not only honor his memory, but also send a strong message about the country's commitment to recognizing those who made lasting contributions to sports. Let's show our appreciation for a true legend, Eguavoy said. Eguavoy speaks.
Because Dodo is quite an icon. What am I going to use to describe Dodo? If a stadium or something, a statue, Dodo is erected somewhere, it won't be too much. I think Dodo is an icon, and from the information we got, it was quite ill. And if he has spoken out, and you need 100 million or 50 million, I don't think Nigerians will be silent on it. 1 or 2 persons will raise that money within a blink of an eye. But it's quite unfortunate what happened has happened, but Dodo should be immortalized.
And with that, we conclude today's episode of Sports Roundup in Nigeria. For Channel Africa Sports, John Ubane reporting from Lagos, Nigeria.
15:37 Central African Time. Thank you to Tony Tonero Ubane for updating us with the latest in Nigerian sport. We will be having a conversation with him. The Super Falcons are doing superbly well, having won 2 of their group stage matches in the ongoing Women's Africa Cup of Nations, Morocco 2024. And they are left with the Phoenix of Algeria, a match they want to use as practice for shooting in preparation for the knockout stages, the quarterfinal tie. It is interesting when you've won your opening 2 matches, you can do what you like with the 3rd match. This is where the coach gets to give the fringe players an opportunity to also get a run, and we say big ups to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Before we talk to Tony Tonero Ubane, Mzansi, this is more than just a game. It is a celebration of history. 30 years ago, the Springboks united our nation with that iconic Rugby World Cup victory, and now the Mighty Boks are back. Don't miss South Africa versus Italy in the 30th anniversary commemoration match this Saturday, the 12th of July at 1600 Central African Time. Watch it live on SABC2 or stream it anywhere on SABC Plus app. Download the SABC Plus app today on iOS, Android, or your smart TV. Switch to stream. No subscription. SABC Sport, for the love of the game. Tony Tonero Ubane, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Hi, good afternoon to you, the Velvet Voice. I'm happy to join you on this dial.
Thank you indeed. Let's get on to it, starting with women's football, the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations. The Super Falcons on the right path for a ticket to the quarterfinals or the knockout stages. I've always noticed that in a group stage of 4 teams, you play against the opening 2, you grab your 6 points, you are good to go. You don't have to take out any calculator going into your third and final group stage match of we need to play to a draw, or we hope in this one we'll play to a draw and we must win our match to qualify. It's a straight qualification with 6 points. What's coming up next after this qualification to the next round?
That's exactly how the coach of the Super Falcons, Justin Madugu, is saying that the match against the Phoenix, Lady Phoenix of Algeria, is going to be one that he will use, to sharpen the reflexes of the players, especially those in the attack. That's why the 2 wins the Super Falcons have gotten in the ongoing World Cup Championship. There's been a lot of criticisms back home. So many Nigerians have not really been so happy with their play. They say that so many things are lacking. And in short, one person even said that these are not the Super Falcons that we used to know. But Asisa Doshola has been criticized. And of course, people also been talking about recalling her to the Super Falcons. Some people go to that extent saying that she has played so well. And of course, it's time to focus on some of the new players. But indeed, the head coach, quoting him, he says that our commitment has been to take it one game at a time. We believe in our approach and we will adopt the pattern and approach that we believe can give us victory in each game. We respect all the teams, but fear none. I must tell you that all teams that are here are well prepared and things have changed from what it used to be. Indeed, Madugu will have to do without a USA-based playmaker, Deborah Abiodun, who received the yellow card in both matches against Tunisia and Botswana, and must thus sit out this game against the Algerians. Probably, maybe take place at the lively Esther Okoronkwo, who strictly enlightened Nigeria's previous matches at this tournament on introduction. I had 2 assists as well as a Woman of the Match award from the 3-0 defeat of Tunisia. And the quiet, the diligent Jennifer Echejine, who plays at club football in France. However, Madugu may opt to alter pattern and personnel and drag the energetic Tony Payne back into the playmaker role, while Ajibade slotted on the wide and with perhaps Francisco Vega on the left, with the precocious Shola Babajide in the central attack and role. I think that Madugu has almost everything at her disposal. Victor will not only extend the Falcons' superiority over the Algerians, they will sustain the Nigerian girls' winning mentality. They have not lost again this year and set them in great time for a exclusive quarterfinal duel on Friday next week. So that's exactly what they are looking forward to. And indeed, Neto just expect that some new players most likely are coming in so that the other trusted legs, will be rested for the quarterfinals.
Tony Ubani, our correspondent based in Lagos, Nigeria. So, Ubani, it goes to show that the Nigerian football-loving community, these are the people who are fastidious, very hard to please. If you look at the tables, you realize that in Group A, Morocco is sitting on 4 points after playing 2 matches, a win and a draw. Zambia, a win and a draw, also on 4 points. And you've got Nigeria, the Super Falcons, the only nation out of the 12-team competition that is sitting on 6 points, which means they've won their opening 2 matches, although they played to a narrow 1-0 win against Botswana. But you can still see that the Super Falcons, as it stands, are the only nation or outfit that is doing well at this AFCON. But it also goes to show that the standard of women's football on the African continent is on another level. Who thought Botswana would be that tight to only concede 1 goal? You look at the reigning champions, South Africa, in Group C. They are sharing 4 points with Mali, who are both on 4 points. A win and a draw for both these teams. Yet the fans still feels that these are not the Super Falcons outfit that they are used to. Are they taking note of the fact that the standard keeps rising in women's football?
I do not think they take note of that. I think everybody is, being carried away by the fact that, they know a record number of times that Nigeria has won it. Nigeria has won it a number 9 times, and I would just say that time was the time that, women's football was growing in Africa. And I must tell you that it has risen so fast, and indeed, so many countries in Africa have embraced it. And that's why it is so tight. It's a tight call, for anything, including Nigeria, that is making it Mission X. It's really going to be a very tight thing. From what I've seen, I've watched the South African team, I've watched Nigerian team, and look at Ghana, for instance. Neto, I think that women's football in Africa has really gotten so well developed that, there is no one that you can say, yes, this is how it is. As it was in the beginning, it is no longer what it is now, Neto.
Tony Robani, our correspondent based in Lagos, Nigeria, in West Africa, talking to us about all things Nigerian and African sport. Let's also update our listeners and viewers on the ongoing matches of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations taking place in Morocco. Zambia they beat Senegal by 3-2 on Wednesday, the 9th of July. DR Congo went down by 4-2 against the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco. Tunisia and Algeria, now North African outfits, they played to a 0-all draw. Botswana went down by 1-0 against the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Yesterday there were two matches, Ghana playing up against Mali, and that match ended in a 1-all draw, while Tanzania and South Africa also played to the 1-all draw. And these four teams are all in Group C. And we also have matches coming up today. The Copper Queens of Zambia will take on the Central Africans, DR Congo, at 2100 Central African time. Two more matches, one more match taking place at the same time is the Atlas Lionesses and the Teranga Lionesses, that is Morocco and Senegal, at 2100 Central African time. And these are the match day 3 out of the group stages, which means the final matches in group stages, and we will get to know who makes it to the next round following the Super Falcons of Nigeria, who are already there with 2 wins in their respective group. Nigeria will take on Algeria tomorrow, and this is the match where they want to practice their areas of improvement, like shooting, making certain that they can visit the back of the net more often, especially after beating Botswana by only 1-0. Tunisia will take on Botswana tomorrow at 2100 Central African time, and South Africa is back to action. The reigning champions up against Mali on Monday the 14th of July at 2100 Central African time. Ghana will line up against Tanzania in the third and final group match, also on Monday the 14th of July at 2100, and we will get to know who's playing who in the upcoming stages. Sir Ubani, let's move on to the world of athletics, where the capital of Ogun State in Abeokuta is gearing up for the big occasion, the Africa Under-18, Under-23 edition of Athletics Championships that will be taking place from the 16th to the 20th of July. A strong team unveiled by Nigeria. Who are we looking forward to? What are we looking forward to in this exciting edition of the Under-18, Under-20 African Athletics Championships?
Yeah, Neto, I guess in the bulletin, you may have heard about, the unveiling of teams, from some other countries. And of course, South Africa coming with a very big team. Nigeria just finally announced its full squad list for the South African Under-18, Under-20 Athletics Championship set to hold from July 16th to July 20 at MKO Abiola International Stadium in Abeokuta, Ogun State. A total of 96 athletes will represent the host nation in what is expected to be a thrilling showcase of young African talent. The team comprises a blend of promising male and female athletes across both age categories. A number with 30 athletes, followed by the Under-18 boys with 24 athletes. On the women's side, 18 athletes will compete in the Under-18 category, while 24 athletes will represent Nigeria in the Under-20 women's division. The athletes will be supported by a robust technical and backroom staff that includes 22 coaches, 8 medical personnel, 8 additional team members, among them a psychologist, physiotherapists, logistics coordinators, a team secretary, and media personnel, all dedicated to ensuring optimal performance and team management. As Nigeria gears up to host athletes from over 40 African nations, expectations are high that a home team will deliver a strong performance and capitalize on home advantage. the Abeokuta Championship match, a significant milestone for Nigerian athletics, both as hosts and as a contender for top honors. And Tonobo Kokua, the president of Athletics Federation of Nigeria, is using this, to start a new regime as president of AFN. There has been a lot of question marks, on his past administration, and of course, getting a second time to lead Athletics Federation of Nigeria. So many people will be focusing on him, and of course, the performances are more of administrative lapses, that will accompany the performance of Nigeria in the championships, Neto.
Tony Tonero Ubani is our correspondent from West Africa in Lagos, Nigeria. So, Ubani, just to bring up to speed our listeners and viewers on the ongoing FIFA Club World Cup, we saw in the semi-finals Fluminense up against Chelsea. Chelsea, the Blues, winning that one comfortably by 2-0. But a lot of people that have come across this past week have all been singing praises for the French outfit PSG, who beat Real Madrid by 4-0. And Real Madrid is not an ordinary team. In fact, they are the dominating outfit of this FIFA Club World Cup. But in football, you walk onto that pitch with complacency, you will be shown something different. So it is now Chelsea up against PSG tomorrow in the final. Your thoughts?
Neto, from what we have so far seen PSG do in the Club World Cup, I think that permutations, anybody can just close his eye and give it to PSG. But I want to tell you, football does not work that way. PSG absolutely and in very great form. And of course, the players are all fit. And, we have equally seen how Chelsea came, from a group that are not, were not as strong as what we saw PSG go through. But then, because they say football is round, you do not know, it does not have a head. So Chelsea could as well come up tomorrow to spring a surprise that will indeed shock so many observers and of course those who stake in football. But all the same, I think that in every other thing, I think that PSG have the upper hand to excel tomorrow, Neto.
15:52 Central African Time. We are talking to Tony Tonero Ubani, our correspondent based in West Africa in Lagos, Nigeria. So Ubani, please do stay on the line. We take a short break. We will wrap up our conversation after the short break.
Stella Longwe pamalonje
palitusokoma pano pamalonje kumvera nyimbo za mu Africa kusangalala kupeza moyo akuti kumva moyo kuti kuyenda bwino pano pamalonje ndiyetu apa tili ndikatswiri oyimba ameneyu ndikatswiri wa dziko la Malawi amene akukhala mdziko la South Africa ndipo amayimba amene akuti ndi Big Nick Malawi. Yatusani kuti kodi moyo wanu woyimba ukuyenda bwanji mu Johannesburg?
Moyo woyimba ukuyenda bwino kwambiri. Chiliyonse chikutheka ndithu bwino.
Ayi aziwoneka chiliyonse chikutheka mofa magrasi anu apa mwaka. Akuti kumenya yonse aziwoneka zoti azikutheka ndithu mu Johannesburg.
Malonje pa nthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo. Lowiruka ndi Stella Longwe.
The stories, the scores, the spirit of the game. Catch Africa at Play with Neto Chemane. Saturdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on Channel Africa.
15:53 Central African Time. You are still tuned in to Africa at Play on Channel Africa from an African perspective. We are still talking to Tony Tonero Ubani about all things Nigerian and African sport. Before we bring back Sir Ubani to the conversation to wrap up our conversation, let's remind you SABC Sport brings you Chasing the Sun, a powerful 5-part documentary series about the Springboks, telling the rousing tale of their path to redemption and to the ultimate World Cup glory in 2019, starting the 13th of July at 19:30 Central African Time on SABC2. Tune in every Sunday for the highs, the heartache, and the heroics that made rugby history. Stream each chapter on SABC Plus anytime, anywhere. No subscription needed. Don't miss Chasing the Sun this Sunday at 19:30 Central African Time on SABC2. Be there when history shines. We will be there. So, Ubani, thank you so much for staying on the line. Teams that are being promoted to the Nigeria Professional Football League. These are exciting times. Who are they? What are they all about?
Yeah, Neto, I can tell you that, from the NNL, that's the Nigerian National League, the second tier league of the Nigeria League, that's after the Nigeria Premier Football League, the Elite Division League. 4 of them have been promoted, and, almost everybody is just singing praises for them. Wiki Tourist Football Club of Bauchi, Barao Football Club of Kano, top the Northern Conference gain promotion. Why Warri Wolves Football Club of Warri and Kun Califat Football Club of Owerri emerged winners from the Southern Conference to secure promotion tickets to the Nigeria Premier League. But Metro, I must say, it's not just about gaining promotion. There are strange things happening in the Nigeria Premier Football League and, of course, the NNL. And once teams get demoted from the Nigeria Premier Football League, Metro, they can buy their way back to the elite division of the league. That's the NPFL. That's a very strange thing that is happening in the Nigeria Premier League. And, of course, those in authority are not willing to address this issue. And I must tell you that Heartland FC, that is being coached by ex-international Emmanuel Amunike, last season was demoted, to the second tier. But suddenly you saw them play at the Premier League. And this time around, they have been demoted. And I'm telling you authoritatively that Heartland are also trying to come back. And what they want to do is that they want to buy the place of Kun Khalifa Football Club of Owerri, that is domiciled in the same place with them, that gained promotion. Last season, Heartland FC bought the slot of Beyond Limits SA, to also play in the Premier League. And indeed, it makes no sense of promotion and demotion in the Nigeria Premier Football League. So what it means is that if you have your money, you could just as well, go and rest. Once anything gains promotion, you can just use your money to buy out that club and also continue with your name. Heartland was demoted last time, and this time around they have been demoted. But very, very authoritative sources have indicated that Heartland will buy off Kun Khalifa Football Club, who gained promotion to the NPFA, to take their place and come up and be answering Heartland Football Club, when we knew that indeed the Heartland that played in the last season was demoted. That's the strange thing that is happening in the Nigerian Premier Football League, Neto.
15:57 Central African Time. This is Tony Ubani talking to us from Nigeria, based in Lagos. So, Ubani, we've run out of time, but this is a burning issue that we must touch on. Final one from me. Nigerian athletes banned for anti-doping violations by the Athletics Integrity Unit, IAU. The number rises to 10. Big concern. Are we winning this battle?
Yeah, Neto, it's a very, very big concern to us. But unfortunately, those who are managing this, those in the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, yesterday I called up so many of them, and of course, they refused to call, answer me. And most times, once I mentioned the issue of drug ban, they will just tell me that they will call me back. And of course, number one, let me just quickly give you, because of time, Imobong Nseoko is having a 2-year ban until July 2026. Stephen Eloji, 4-year ban until June 2028. Ada Princess Vice, 4-year ban until September 2027. Grace Nwokocha is having a 3-year ban, and she'll be back until August 2025. Yinka Ajayi, 8-year ban, that is until January 2030. Glory Okon, 4-year ban until January 2026. And Blessing Okabare, 10-year ban until July 2031. Divine Oduduru, having a 6-year ban that will last until February 2029. Henry Advike has a lifetime ban, and Vivian Chukwuemeka has a lifetime ban. Never in the history of Nigerian athletes have we gotten this number of athletes, that have been placed on ban, because of anti-doping activities. And it's a very big concern to athletics watchers, and that's exactly what is happening. And then for those of us that put our eyes on the ground on this, we are very, very concerned, because if the Athletics Integrity Unit gets to know that Nigeria, is a serial doping country, that automatically, will see them breathing hard on Nigeria. And indeed, athletics have always remained a very right sport for Nigeria.
Tony Tonerobani, thank you so much for talking to us on Africa at Play on all things Nigerian sport. Have a great afternoon further.
Thank you so much, Velvet Voice.
1600 Central African Time. That was our correspondent based in West Africa, in Lagos, Nigeria, Tony Tonerobani, talking to us on a variety of issues around Nigerian and African sport, including the upcoming, highly anticipated Africa Under-18, Under-20 Athletics Championships, slated for the 16th to the 20th of July at the capital of Ogun State in Abeokuta, where over 40 countries have confirmed their participation. Team South Africa also sending a big number of athletes there. We also got to speak to Barry Hendricks on the same subject, and also the anti-doping violations that is still a issue of concern, and the clubs getting promoted to the elite league, the Nigerian Professional League. So these are interesting times. The Super Falcons of Nigeria have also made it to the knockout stage of the ongoing Women's Africa Cup of Nations as the only team that has triumphed their opening 2 matches in their respective group. A new era in motorsport, the Liqui Women's League in the Super V Racing has been officially launched at the Zwartkops Raceway near Centurion, South Africa's Gauteng province, on Thursday afternoon. Liqui SA Chief Executive Officer, CEO Melisha Labaskachne, says Formula Super V and her brand have been in partnership for more than 5 years. We are now joined on Channel Africa Sport by the CEO of Liqui, a company that's doing the most out there in the industry of supporting motorsport. And we are joined by the CEO, Melisha Labaskachne. Melisha, very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Channel Africa Sport. This is Africa at Play. As Delili Siashai.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and we're excited to be part of what's happening around at the moment with Formula Super V, motorsport, and everything that is driven by passion all around South Africa.
Exciting indeed. Let's talk about the launch of the Women's League in the Super V Racing. What does it mean with Liqui behind this league?
We are absolutely so excited. I mean, it's been Formula Super V has been a part of Liqui for more than 5 years, and to be able to see how the whole series has grown. But the exciting part was last year when the first female became part of the series. That was an exciting new chapter, and then today to be able to add another 4 ladies and have an official Women's League series within the Formula Super V. I mean, I always get excited when people just take the next step and inspires quite a lot of other people. And I don't want to say just females, but it is exciting. I think all women coming into motorsport, but most exciting being a platform with Formula Super V where they can actually grow, where they have the support, there's camaraderie, and it's an unbelievably passion-driven bunch of people. And that for me is always what impresses me. It's something within Liqui that I always look for. It's great if people are performing quite well, but when they have passion for what they do and everywhere that they go and the people that they involve around them, I think that puts it on a totally different platform.
Liqui is involved in motorsport, supporting women in motorsport, and motorsport historically was dominated by males. And here you are as a superpower, as a woman who started Liqui South Africa in 2008 and now supporting women in motorsport. It's not a coincidence.
Yes, I've always been feminist, driving and wanting women to really step up. I've always said I don't like the focus, and that if there's a split, I really always advocate for women to stand up, just take that step. They have the platform. They just need to find the environment where they can really flourish. And it was not easy for me with Liqui in South Africa, being in a male-dominant kind of an environment. But it is because of just stepping up that I actually had the opportunity to learn so much from people all around me, and being able to then inspire other people to do that. So investing in women, helping them to be able to believe in themselves, linking them with platforms where they can have that opportunity to be able to develop in motorsport, in business, is always exciting, and it's really appreciated when you see how these ladies inspire other women to do the same.
What will put a big smile on your face later on in the year, perhaps by the end of 2025, with your support in supporting women in motorsport?
A big smile on my face will definitely be to see the entire Formula Super V just adding more numbers, but also not just numbers, but also not having just 5 female drivers, but having that women league actually get to the 10, the 12, the 13. But at the same time, having this series looked at and people from the outside seeing it as well as a platform where there is that opportunity for people to grow, where they can see it's not just a series, it is a series with passion behind it, but also at the same time an environment where egos are put aside and everybody's working together to be able to grow the series, to make sure that everybody is improving in their skills and doing that as a unit, because overall that improves everybody's skill, but also overall the series.
Except for financial support, in terms of products that you deal with, what are some of the products that you will be supporting this Women's League Super V Racing League with?
So with the Liqui Moly product range, every single thing that's in that car that is a fluid is a Liqui Moly product, from the engine oils, the gear oils, the brake fluids. We make sure that everything, even the things that they are looking after themselves at their home, because our product range has got over 4,000 products, we want to make sure that they get really comfortable and passionate about the entire range. I mean, they race and they prepare. Sometimes they're not that much involved when it comes to the mechanical aspect. So we want them to really get familiar and comfortable with the Liqui Moly products in everything else that's part of their life, because we do have a range that's for everything. I mean, we've got a motorcycle range, a bicycle range, a range where you can use it your home DIY. So we support them in everything that they will possibly use, so that it can also just add that additional, easier way of taking care of everything else that they have passion for.
If you have just joined us, we are talking to the CEO of Liqui Moly South Africa, that is Melisha Labaskachne. Melisha, talk to us about the importance of the corporate world assisting sport to get to the level where we get to see competition hitting the rooftop.
I think Liqui Moly has always used motorsport and other sports as a vehicle for marketing. But also then through the marketing, using that as education, because the way we do our sponsorships is, if you go online, you'll see our partners also share their experience about the products, what is the tips that they would have when servicing vehicles and different things like that. But when it comes to the corporate side, I mean, Liqui Moly is built on relationships. You cannot have a business if you do not build relationships. And this does not just give us the opportunity to get the brand out there, but it also opens the door to meet so many additional people that have other businesses that you can collaborate with. There is no way that you can become successful on your own. It comes with an unbelievable team that you have behind you, and at the same time a family of people that believes in the product. You've got racing teams that believe in the products, and all of those formats gives you the opportunity for people to test and try and be able to share that. I mean, for every single person that we're involved with at Liqui Moly that's got a good feeling about the brand, that's what they're going to talk about, by the way that we make them feel. And I think that is something that the corporate market sometimes misses, is to be able to get involved in motorsport, because these are guys that are passionate about something and they have put their whole heart in that, and you have so much to be able to grow together within those kind of environments, and that's why we love it. That's why there's so many different platforms of racing that we're involved with, because it comes with different people and with different environments, and Liqui Moly would not be where we are today if it wasn't for people. And if you can make sure you make people feel special, they don't feel like a number, and you keep on building those strong relationships, there is nowhere that your brand cannot flourish, because it's built on relationships.
Melisha Labaskachne is the CEO of Liqui Moly South Africa. Melisha, you've been in business for a number of years. Let's talk about motorsport as a business. What are your thoughts?
I know motorsport is a business, and I always when I do keynotes, or when I have motivational as well for some people that wanted to know how did Liqui Moly start. If I look at motorsport, I think one of the big things that sometimes so I think there's big opportunity to grow. An important part is, are you doing it for yourself? So we have a code of honor within Liqui Moly where we say we have the vision first, the team second, and the individual last. And because we function as a unit within that business structure. And I think in motorsport, that's also vital, because I think at some stage it probably pulled apart a little bit, and it's because of all these egos that were there for individual reasons and not thinking of the bigger picture. And if we all can focus on that, the legacy we leave, the people that we touch, what do we want motorsport to be in 10 years' time? Do we want, again, those banks of the race, of the different racing tracks filled with cars and fans and all the racing teams feeling like superstars again? I mean, we know the Sorrel van der Merwes and all the legends when it comes to racing. We look at the Drive to Survive with the Formula One. All of these things show us that people like people, and if that is the focus, to be able to grow a brand, and I now talk about motorsport as a brand, and really think about the vision involving people and making decisions where you think of how can you grow this, how can you make people be so inspired by motorsport that they want to follow every race, they want to be at the tracks, and they're in an environment where there's very little egos, there's that adrenaline and there's that winning spirit. But it's that camaraderie. I think that has been our definitely our success within Liqui Moly, is the focus. I always have this thing even with my team, and when we do advertising, I always say our brand will be nothing. We're so great, we're so amazing. That doesn't mean anything for the person that's using it. We have to take our way of looking and make sure that we focus on the people, because what is in it for them? Because if we have that focus, we don't have ego, we listen, and we also make sure that we constantly are improving to be able to make sure that what our audience is needing, that we can support and we can provide. And I think that is something that motorsport should focus on always. Maybe just have that accountability at all times to be able to make sure that is at the top of their lists at all times.
Women are just very talented. We see it in football, we see it in cricket. They do amazing things, and many other sporting codes. Are we likely to see a scenario where later in the near future, women in motorsport would accelerate and overtake the gentlemen in the sport?
I think we're going to have that day that we're going to see that Formula One a bunch drive out, and there's going to be females, and when the helmets are taken put on, you're going to just see unbelievable racing, and it's not going to be because the male with the female. It's just going to be that inspiration again for it just to become the norm, and I do see that. I see it because we see their talent. We know, you, as you mentioned, you see exactly how amazingly talented they are, and the more that they also believe it, and all those youngsters that look up to females see that and can be inspired, and then can have that commitment and that discipline to try and improve themselves. I know that we're going to very soon have a playing field that's going to have women impressing people all around, everyone around them, and getting into that level where it's just going to be racing together as one unit, and not a situation of women's league and a men's league. It's just going to be a league that is so diverse, and it's going to include absolutely everyone.
As we wrap up this conversation, what's coming up next after this Liqui Moly Women's League in Super V Racing?
So, I mean, tomorrow, this weekend is going to be at Swartkops, their actual first race, and then I think it is going to be definitely for them is that discipline, is that commitment to be able to make sure they can learn from this weekend's race, improve on that, and just at the next racing event make sure that they are better than what they were at this race. So that's the important thing. I think I always look forward to that constant improvement. We also have Early B, the well-known rapper here in South Africa as also as part of the Formula Super V. He'll also be racing over this weekend. And he's just an example of that. When he started, I mean, it was almost driving all over the other drivers, and now to see how competitive he's become, his times around the track, it's constant improving. We start all at the bottom, and if you have that commitment to just give your best, you are going to keep on improving. And I'm looking forward to that with these ladies, with this entire team, because I know the talent that they have, and I am looking forward to be able to see that growth in them throughout the year.
That's the voice of Melisha Labaskachne, who is the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Liqui Moly South Africa. Melisha, thank you so much for talking to us on Africa at Play. Have an awesome afternoon further.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity to chat to you.
Marvelous. 16:15 Central African Time. That was my conversation with the CEO of Liqui Moly, sponsoring the Women's League Super V Racing. And this is a league that has kicked off this weekend with 5 motorsport drivers. And she says she will be happy to realize a scenario where it can be more drivers, even more than 10. And we say big ups to the corporate world, those that are coming on board to support women in sport and sports in general. Mzansi, this is more than just a game. It's a celebration of history. 30 years ago, the Springboks united our nation with that iconic Rugby World Cup victory. And now the Mighty Boks are back. Don't miss South Africa versus Italy in the 30th anniversary commemoration match this Saturday, the 12th of July at 1600. It is now 16:15 Central African Time. You are not late to tune in because this match kicks off at 1700 Central African Time. You can watch it live on SABC2 or stream it anywhere on SABC Plus app. Download the SABC Plus app today on iOS, Android, or your smart TV. Switch to stream, no subscription. SABC Sport, for the love of the game. It is time for us to go to the dance floor because they say music is therapy. We all need it. We've got Magufuli by Harmonize and Wasi Wasi by Malesh. This is Africa at Play. It is a double play. Astelele Siashaya.
Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
I wish ningemwona Magufuli, nipige magoti, nimpongeze hadharani. Yani rais wa muungano wa jamhuri, mchapakazi hachoki, anayepinga nani? Ametuvusha vikwazo, wewe nami, ona nchi anavyoijenga. Flyover tunazo, daraja Kigamboni, airport imeshajengwa. Acha nikupongeze kwa Air Tanzania, zidi baba tuongeze, Air basi Bombardia, standard gauge tuteleze, kusafiri unasinzia. Acheni tu niwaeleze, Magufuli kapania. Odadi Magufuli, cheza nipone, sopenda wabanecho, magumu acheni. Odadi asa cheza nipone, jembe toka Chato, Magufuli ndo rais wa wanyonge. Aga mpole mtu wa dini hajachoka, tunashukuru. Amesame mara 70, papiko chasa yupo huru. Wa Tanzania tupewe nini, vilokufa yeka vifufua. Karudisha nidhamu serikalini, ukileta janja na tumbua. Sekta madini, umeme, maji, kero zimepungua. Elimu bure vijijini, watoto shule wanabukua. Ifikapo 2020 kura yangu wechukua. Asa tufiche ya nini, Magu uongozi anaujua. Dar es Salaam mwendo kasi, vituo vya afya kila kata. Machina pakazi, tena huru bila shaka. Buriki utari ameongeza, uchumi uweze panda. Serikali Dodoma inapendeza, Tanzania ya viwanda. Odadi Magufuli, cheza nipone, sopenda wabanecho, magumu acheni. Odadi toka Chato, Magufuli ndo rais wa wanyonge. Asa wote wa Tanzania tusimame imara, yani wote Tanzania, Tanzania tusonge mbele.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real with Tebogo Lekweleni and Matseko Musito. Tamengo Bene talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Muteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine, 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda, as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Lekweleni and Matseko Musito. Tamengo Bene talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Muteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine, 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda, as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Lekweleni and Matseko Musito. Tamengo Bene talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Muteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth.
Audio bouquet, channel 802 or OpenView 6280 if you are in South Africa. Alternatively, you can reach us from anywhere you are on channelafrica.co.za. Also available on SABC Plus. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa's #1, Africa at Play, as Delelsia Shai. SABC Sport brings you Chasing the Sun, a powerful five-part documentary series about the Springboks, telling the rousing tale of their path to redemption and ultimate World Cup glory in 2019, starting on the 13th of July at 9:30 Central African Time on SABC2. Tune in every Sunday for the highs, the heartache, and the heroics that made rugby history. Stream each chapter on SABC Plus anytime, anywhere. No subscription needed. Don't miss Chasing the Sun this Sunday at 19:30 Central African Time on SABC2. Be there when history shines. Let's now go to Lusaka, Zambia, where our correspondent Namuchana is standing by with the football pundits on the challenges around the facilities on the African continent and the big question around rotation of hosting these events across the African continent to empower those countries that are still battling so that they can be empowered by having facilities on track to be able to run their sport affairs accordingly. Let's find out how did his conversation go with the football pundits. To drop us a WhatsApp or voice note on this topic, please do drop us a WhatsApp on the number +27 63 406 9126. Africa at Play, as Delelisia Shai.
Most African countries have challenges of lack of sport facilities and infrastructure, yet when the sport federations are granted hosting rights, such countries get opportunities to develop their facilities. Morocco hosted WAFCON in 2022 and is hosting the ongoing WAFCON. For a number of years now, South Africa has been hosting COSAFA tournament. We're asking why can't football mother bodies like COSAFA and the Confederation of African Football CAF rotate the tournament to allow other countries chance to develop their sports facilities. I have with me Mr. Simata, former Football Association of Zambia president. Mr. Simata, thank you so much. You've heard our question there. We are looking at the rotation of tournaments and we are asking Mr. Simata, why can't football mother bodies like COSAFA and the Confederation of African Football CAF rotate the tournament to allow other countries a chance to develop their sports facilities? What are your views?
Usually, I find it difficult to answer the question why? Because why is about motive, is about insider. I have yet not learned to read minds and hearts. But let me answer your question the other way around, rather than concentrate on why. Let's look at Morocco. I will speak on the men's football. In 1992, at the Senegal Africa Cup, hosted by Senegal, firstly, they built a very good stadium in Dakar, and then they had one which I don't think met international standards in Ziguinchor, but they hosted it, 8 nations. But Morocco fielded an almost under-20 team in that Africa Cup. They drew, and were kicked out in the first round. In most African countries, that would have been a major outcry. But they knew what they were doing. In 1994, they qualified over Zambia in the World Cup. In fact, I was in Senegal. When I came home, I said to everybody that I could, have you seen what Morocco is building? And people didn't seem to be interested. But in 94, they went to the World Cup. Since then, they've been a force to reckon with. Today, they have one of the nicest international soccer facilities they've been building. They had an idea, they had a plan, they had an ambition. For the rest of us in Africa, I think we think these things come like an atomic bomb, undesigned, uncalled for, and there we are. We have all the facilities, we have everything. How much planning is in the rest of the African countries? And I mean being strategic planning, not one individual standing up and sharing a vision. The sooner that we reduce our national associations to plans, the better. We have reduced football to politics. So we think if one smarter stands up and shares a vision, oh, that is the right man, that is the person. I think we should reverse that. What should happen in almost all the national associations is a gathering of minds. All of them, positive, negative, let's come into one room and sit down and say, what is the football we would like to play in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? We put it in a blueprint. After that, we should simply seek people that will bring that vision to fruition. It shouldn't be an individual's effort. Football is a community thing. It does not belong to one person's back pocket or even purse, where if you need, he has to touch his back and see whether to give you or not to give you. That's where we've gone wrong, in my opinion. The vision, the mission, the values, the plans or priorities and plans should be of the association, the minds. The only time you meet thereafter is to either review what you have done or to add, subtract, amend to that plan. And everybody who wants to come forward to be in leadership should be people who are willing to take that plan forward. You see what's happening right now in Africa? X stands up, mesmerizes people. 5 years or 10 years later, he's kicked out of the office. A new Y comes in with golden ideas, and everybody rallies behind that person. And it's just a matter of time. That person will again be kicked out, and a new guy will come. I mean, even if you are building a house, you won't get very far where you put the foundations, you get to window level, then you break all that you have done, you start again, and you get to roof level, you break everything. Now you are struggling with the foundation. That's the problem, And even if COSAFA or CAF elects countries to host these events, where will they get the resources from? Certainly. Maybe if they had met and said in 5 years' time we are going to host COSAFA, in 10 years' time we are going to host the AFCON, and they go and study how others are managing and what they have done to reach to a point where today they are hosts, and then come back and start implementing. It is not about one man, not even his close friends. It's about everybody. When we get to such a level, in my view, we will see a lot of progress. We are the same ones who like to talk about in the word team, there's no I. But then in practice, it's about I.
Mr. Smata, thank you so much for having taken time to talk to us. We also sat down with Wezi Mazunda, sports analyst.
I think there's a process in place, a bidding process. So when bids are open, I think respective countries can throw in their bids. And those who feel they have the infrastructure, the facility, the infrastructure, the political will, because it's all about money. Do you have the money to invest in the hosting of those events? The hotels, transport sector, the health system, is everything in place and everything in order? Times now have become hard, and it's not very easy. So that's why there's that bidding process, so that you tell yourself, you look at yourself and tell yourself you are able to see whether you're able to host or not. I'll give an example of Morocco. What Morocco has done is invested heavily in developing infrastructure, obviously, and all sectors, facilities that are needed for a country to host an event of that level. And if anything happens, in case of a challenge, in case of maybe a cancellation of a country to host that event, they'll take it up. They want to do it. It's a vision that they have, and they obviously know where they want to be, and and I'm sure they've seen that it's working for their economy. It's improving that country's economy. At the end of the day, is how best do you want to improve that country's economy? Are you ready to take that risk as a country, as organizers, to ensure that that development happens? And when you're given the chance to host, whichever country is given that ability to host, are you going to manage? Do you have the financial resources to be able to invest in the hosting of that event? Because obviously you must be mindful that there are competing factors in a country. It's not just that hosting. There are obviously other sectors that also need to be supported. Finances that you have, the corporate sector, is it ready to buy into your vision? Your partners, are they ready to buy into your vision to work? But at the end of the day, it should also be about love and seeing the potential in your youth who are able to deliver. Your team, that is, because if you have a team that is winning all the time, I feel it's best that you as government and the people of that country work together to ensure that you honor them by ensuring that you put your facilities are up to scratch and you are able to host that event for them, because hosting does a lot of good to the home team. It gives them that confidence and motivation to work very hard, especially if everything is in place. Obviously, even your and your team, you give them the best preparations, you give them the good financial rewards, what they do, allowances are not delayed, there's no pressure and everything, the coaches are happy, everybody is happy in working. But mainly it's about the economic status of that country, and right now we know very few, is just countable ones that are able to solely host it, like one country which are able to do that, because most of the times you find they're joint bid, and maybe for other countries it would be an issue of the weather factor and everything. But then again, it's very disappointing. You get the opportunity to host like we are seeing in Morocco and you don't have crowds. That's where the money should be coming in from. I mean, as the host nation, you should do a lot to boost that, because even then the people who are helping you in organizing that event in the country will be very happy, because returns are equal. People are coming to watch the game, they are paying to come and watch good football, to come and see the stats, to come and see quality football, which is good for the game, because at the end of the day, game should bring people together, unite everyone, talk about issues that are challenging you and overcoming them. But I think mostly it's about the finances. One, finances, economic status that you have. Two, if throwing a bid, if you're confident enough to know that you're going to be able to host an event, do so. But the best would be to put the infrastructure in place and everything that's needed in place, so that the next time an opportunity comes up, you raise your hand and you're there, and when the people who are coming to inspect see that you're able to host this event, you're able to host something successful. But it's quite challenging. That we can't take away from the African continent, but the will should be there. The political will should be there, and everybody should work together as a nation to support. I like to believe if the nation is working together, everything can be possible. And above all, let's look at the interest of our players, the good of our players. They go out there and they fight for the honor of the nation, of every African nation. They go out there and they fight for their honor, and they want to bring pride to the nation. I think we too should fight for their honor and bring pride to them. Thank you very much.
The views of Wezi Mazunda there. We were looking at the rotation of tournaments like WAFCON or COSAFA on our topic today, and we were asking why can't football mother bodies like COSAFA and the Confederation of African Football CAF rotate tournaments to allow other countries the chance to develop their sports facilities, where the Mr. Simata, former Football Association of Zambia president and the sports analyst Wezi Mazunda for Channel Africa Sports. Namchana from Zambia.
16:36 Central African Time. Thank you to our correspondent in Lusaka, Zambia, Namuchana, and the football pundits, Wezi Mazunda, sports journalist, and former Football Association of Zambia FAS president Simata, for sharing their thoughts and knowledge on the topic of the day, where we've witnessed that the African ground is not an even ground of play, where other countries are battling with infrastructure and facilities, yet you get to witness tournaments going to the same countries on a number of occasions. The WAFCON tournament took place in Morocco in 2022, and the ongoing edition is also in Morocco in 2025. The COSAFA Cup in Southern Africa for about a decade, if not more, has been taking place in South Africa on back-to-back years. Yet there are other countries that could be hungry to get an opportunity to host these kind of tournaments. And we're asking, why can't the mother bodies of the game in Africa, like COSAFA in Southern Africa and CAF continentally, allocate a system of rotation where some of the countries will also get an opportunity to host these events and be able to empower themselves by investing in sport infrastructure and facility. We've got some voice notes to drop us yours. The number is +27 63 406 9126. Let's take a voice note from Eric Lechweleng, a football commentator.
Good afternoon, Africa at Play. This is Eric from Midrand. I think the idea of rotating tournaments like the COSAFA and African Cup of Nations among different countries is a great way to promote development and inequality in African football. By giving more countries the opportunity to host these events, it can help address the issue of lack of sports facilities and infrastructure in many African nations. So rotating tournaments can help by promoting development. Hosting international tournaments can bring in investment and resources to development sports infrastructure, such as stadiums, training facilities, and transport system. Increasing participation by giving more countries the chance to host, it can encourage participation from a wider range of teams and players, promoting the growth of football across the continent, enhancing competitiveness. Rotating tournaments can help level the playing field, allowing teams from different countries to compete against each other and gain valuable experience, fostering unity and cooperation. Hosting tournaments in different countries can promote unity and cooperation among African nations, celebrating the shared passion for football and promoting cultural exchange. So we know some of those things, like you mentioned earlier on in your topic, like the disadvantage or the challenges. They include infrastructure requirements, financial constraints, logistical challenges. But overall, I think rotating tournaments like the COSAFA Cup and African Cup of Nations can be a great way to promote development, increase participation, and foster unity and cooperation in African football. With carefully planning and support from governing bodies, it can be a successful strategy for growing the sports across the continent. Thank you, my good sir. Nice show.
Thank you, Eric Lecholeng, for a comprehensive voice note on our topic of the day. Let's take one more voice note from Moketi Tumisi from the west of Johannesburg in Kagiso.
Good afternoon, listeners. Good afternoon, Mr. Chemane. Moketi here. Mr. Chemane, in other countries, soccer, especially ladies soccer, is not taken serious. It's not a matter of lack of facilities. We do have facilities, but ladies soccer is not taken serious. If only our mother bodies can take ladies soccer serious, that's when the COSAFA and other tournaments will rotate into other continents, and it will be fun because other people needs to see more of our African ladies playing soccer and developing into the sport. Thank you.
1640 Central African Time. We've got another voice note from Yamkela Sifingo on our topic of the day.
A good afternoon to you, Neto, and a good afternoon to the listeners of Africa at Play. This is Yamkela Sifingo. Well, for me, I think there's a lot of contributing factors actually hinder the rotation of hosting these inaugural events and tournaments, because as you correctly put it in the topic, we have challenges of sport facilities, infrastructure development, and also in terms of finances to cover and ensure that these events become a success. It's a nightmare for many of African countries. So if already I'm at a point where I do not have the facilities, I'm at a point where I cannot guarantee to have the financial muscle to ensure the success of hosting. If already I don't have like hotels to accommodate, so it becomes a problem on its own, and it becomes a challenge, because it means for most of these African countries, we cannot be able to submit the bid. We cannot be able to meet the stipulated requirements either from CAF or through FIFA, so it becomes a problem. And like there's some site visits, assessments that need to be done. You can't just build a stadium, but there has to be standards that are met. There's issues of VAR, which also costs like millions for them to be able to function when you are hosting these events. So it's more like giving you something, but knowing very well that you will not be able to get it. It's like a kid with a chocolate, but you know very well they won't be able to reach your height to be able to take it, So I think it's a bit unfair for many countries, because we can't really meet the stipulated standards. And also it goes with like first, second world and third world countries, because I remember reading an article where a National Organizational Committee member in Egypt was saying, he would say maybe it's South Africa, Morocco, and Egypt that kind of like promise to have these infrastructure developments that are required, that can also promise to meet the financial muscle that is needed to be injected to ensure the success of hosting these events. So now you can imagine if there's only 3 countries and Africa was praying that Morocco wins the bid, so that we could be hopeful that many of these events could be coming, because but I'm not deviating. If we remember when South Africa hosted the 2010 World Cup, there had to be like millions and billions that had to be injected to ensure. But like, did the government and other investors get their return on the investments? That we are not sure about. So for some other countries, it becomes a nightmare because you take from a health sector, education sector to inject money into sports. And for them, it doesn't really make sense because which one is a need? Hosting a sporting event or actually providing services of health related to your people as a country. So it becomes a problem. But I think there has to be a way in which maybe before those countries get to bid, they can actually benefit from a certain injection that looks at facilities and not like hotels, but mostly focused on the fields that are going to be built and ensuring that they meet the CAF and the FIFA standards. And then we'll worry later about developing hotels for accommodation and other issues, So it's just a nightmare. And I think for me, with the rotation of hosting, it means now the opportunities are fair. It means the developments is actually spreading across the African continent, other than focusing on a certain few countries that already meet those requirements. It's not fair play for me.
Got something to say? Are you passionate about issues that matter?
Do you have a voice that deserves to be heard?
Well, we've got the perfect platform for you. Call in or drop us a WhatsApp on +27 63 406 9126.
And we will call you back.
So you could have your say and be part of the conversation.
30 years of age. I just turned 30 on the 15th of November. So that's who I am,
It's not just talk, it's your chance to air your views.
Share your opinion.
Engage with a community that values your perspective.
Follow us on our social media.
Visit our website at www.channelafrica.co.za and get ready to share your views on Channel Africa,
the African perspective.
Africa at Play with Neto
and Neto Chemane.
16:46 Central African Time. You are still tuned in to Africa at Play. Asteleli Siashaya. Mzansi, this is more than just a game. It's a celebration of history. 30 years ago, the Springboks united our nation with that iconic Rugby World Cup victory, and now the Mighty Boks are back. Don't miss South Africa versus Italy in the 30th anniversary commemoration match this Saturday, the 12th of July at 1600. It is now 16:46, but you are never late to tune in as action kicks off at 1700 Central African Time. Watch it live on SABC2 or stream it anywhere on SABC Plus app. Download the SABC Plus app today on iOS, Android or your smart TV. Switch it to stream. No subscription. SABC Sport, for the love of the game. Yesterday, globe-trotting athletes fought it out at the Diamond League meeting in Monaco. The expected biggest clash was the American star and 100 meters Olympic champion Noah Lyles of the USA and Botswana's Letsile Tebogo in the 200 meters. And in London today, the Wimbledon women's singles final between Iga Swiatek of Poland, while the men's final is programmed for tomorrow. Defending champion Carlos Alcaraz of Spain takes on the world number one, that is Yannick Sinner of Italy. Our UK-based sport correspondent Gesham Sajinyati filed this report and spoke to a junior tennis coach and parents of a juvenile tennis player.
Last night, focus was on the Diamond League Athletics in Monaco. The headliner was none other than USA sprint star Noah Lyles going head-to-head with Olympic 200 meters champion Letsile Tebogo of Botswana. Even before the race began, social media was buzzing, fans everywhere debating and speculating. Who is going to take it? Who is the fastest man this season? And when they finally lined up on the starting blocks, it was a showdown. In a spectacular finish, Lyles clocked a season's best 19.18 seconds, narrowly edging out the Warhol by just 100th of a second. A dramatic finish, to say the least. But here is a name you may not have expected. Makanaka Ishe Charamba is a Zimbabwean sprinter based in the USA. He ran a polished race, finishing a remarkable third in 19.99 seconds. Anything under 20 seconds is no small feat, and that was certainly a career highlight. Not the first time, though, to catch the eye. The 23-year-old Zimbabwean reached the men's 200 meters final at the Paris Olympic Games last year. In the men's 800 meters, Kenya's Emmanuel Wanyonyi absolutely ruled the track. The 20-year-old Olympic champion dominated the field with a world-leading time of 1 minute 41.44 seconds, comfortably beating American Josh Hoy, while defending champion Jamel Sejadi of Algeria had to settle for third in 1 minute 42.20 seconds. In the longer distances, Yomif Kijalcha of Ethiopia delivered a commanding performance in the men's 5,000 meters, crossing the line in 12 minutes 49.46 seconds. Meanwhile, Morocco's Sofiane El Bakhali, the African champion, Olympic and world champion, reaffirmed his dominancy in the men's 3,000 meters steeplechase, taking victory in 8 minutes 03.18 seconds. The next Diamond League meeting is set to take place in London, where we expect more thrilling matchups and world-class performances from the sport's biggest names. Now shifting to the UK, where it's a huge weekend at Wimbledon. Today, we've got an exciting women's singles final on center court. Former world number one Iga Swiatek of Poland faces off against American underdog Amanda Anisimova. On paper, Swiatek is the clear favorite, but don't count Anisimova out. She has played exceptional tennis throughout the tournament, including a stunning semi-final victory against the Belarusian champion Irina Zabalenka. A win today would mark her first Grand Slam title and one of the biggest upsets of the year. Looking ahead to tomorrow, the men's final is just as thrilling. Defending champion Carlos Alcaraz of Spain is chasing a Wimbledon hat-trick. That's 3 straight titles. But standing in his way, the current world number one and top seed Yannick Sinner of Italy. Alcaraz will give everything to cement his name in history. But Sinner, he has been cool, composed, and clinical throughout all his matches. Some call him the silent assassin, and tomorrow he is a man on a mission. Earlier today, in the lead up to the final, I spoke with local junior tennis coach Sally and 2 fathers who had brought their young daughters, both under 7, to learn the game. The passion was clear and the opinions were split. Each had their favorites and each saw the game through different eyes.
I saw you coming to the Kipworth tennis court with somebody young.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so my name's Jeremy, and I'm a local resident to the village here in Kibworth, and our daughter, who's 8 years old, Adeline, she plays tennis every Saturday, and hopefully is a rising superstar with her friend Cara, who comes every Saturday as well. But I'm with Cara's dad too.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Now let's go to the big one.
Go on.
Wimbledon final, the men's final, singles final. The big hitter, Yannick Sinner of Italy versus Carlos Alcaraz of Spain, who has actually won Wimbledon twice.
Yeah.
Who do you think has got a chance?
I think it will be a brilliant match. I think it'll be very tight, but I think Sinner is probably going to be a little bit more clinical on the day and take it probably 3 sets to 2. 3 sets to 2. 3 sets to 2, I think, is the result.
Yeah, that's your take, but Alcaraz is phenomenal.
He is really, absolutely he is. He's won it twice, so obviously he knows what to do when he comes. He understands the pressure, but I think Sinner's got something slightly different where he's slightly more clinical, so I think he's going to take it on the day.
Now, let's cross over to somebody who is also a father, young girl who is a tennis player. Maybe you want to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, I'm Gersh. I also live here in Kibworth and I'm a resident. And Cara here goes to her tennis lessons every Saturday. She's 6 years old with Adeline. And yeah, really enjoys tennis.
Yeah, and you have said already that you have been more entertained by the ladies' tennis. Now, the final is today. Iga Swiatek of Poland versus Amanda Anisimova of America. Who do you think has got a chance?
I think the American will take it on this one. I think it's been a really interesting Wimbledon. I watched some of the matches with my daughters. I've got 3 daughters, so I've been really interested in the women's match. But I think the American will take this.
Why? Because she hasn't shown much on the international circuit. Why are you sort of putting your neck on her to say she must win it?
Well, I like the underdog. I think Wimbledon is the tournament of underdogs and anyone can win it. So I think she will win it.
And what about the British players who were knocked out quite early? Because I personally thought Emma Raducanu had a chance to go all the way. Same as the local county girl, Katie Buckler, but they didn't.
No, and there's many more tournaments to come yet, but I think Raducanu in particular, you can see the progression. This was her best match she's played in a couple of years now, since maybe she won the US Open. And I think it's really inspirational. She did play, I think it's the number 1, isn't it, Sabalenka, who's got a really powerful serve. But if it was any other player she was playing that day, she'd have won that match. So she was very unlucky. So I think she'll be back. They both will.
Yeah, I'm sure the fans will enjoy, and those watching TV, radio, and things like that. And maybe finally, but it's early in the morning, it's already too hot. Isn't that going to affect the players?
I think it will. I think the crowd have got the advantage of drinking Pims and beer, but I think the players are going to have to keep their hydration levels up. Obviously, I think the heat is definitely going to be a factor. It's not something they're necessarily used to all the time, especially for Britain, but I think they'll get through it.
I went to Wimbledon actually last weekend, so yeah, I watched Ben Shelton play, Mira Andreeva, and it was really good. So yeah.
Oh, excellent. And today is the ladies' final.
It is,
Who do you think is going to win? But number 1, Iga Swiatek is the former world number 1. Do you think she's got a chance?
I think it's going to be a close game, but I do think Amanda's going to win.
Why do you say that?
Well, she's been playing really well. She defeated the world number 1, Sabalenka, and I just think it's her time to shine.
And the men's singles final?
I think it's going to be Alcaraz.
Why do you say Alcaraz? Because I know Yannick Sinner from Italy is a hard hitter. He plays well also.
Well, I don't think he should be in the final, if I'm being honest. Dimitrov, he pulled his muscle and he was winning all the way, so Sinner shouldn't be in the final. So, yeah.
And what about the upsets that the British top players, they were knocked out in the preliminaries? If you can mention their names as well.
Yeah, Emma Raducanu and Jack Draper. I don't think they were too happy with the line calling from the AI, to be honest. So, yeah.
And Katie Buckler also. She was one of the top British players.
Yeah, she was. She's from Leicestershire as well, actually. It's quite disappointing to see her go out, but that's just the way it goes.
Okay. Anyway, you're going to watch the ladies' final today?
Yeah, I'm going to watch it today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe finally, if you can tell, I see you came quite early at this court. What is your role? What are you doing?
Tennis coaching. So, yeah.
How does it feel? Because you still look fairly young and you're a coach. And what age groups do you coach?
All the way from 5 to about 15. So, yeah, juniors. And, yeah, it's quite nice. It's a nice feeling. So, yeah.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you, thanks.
Mzansi, this is more than just a game. It's a celebration of history. 30 years ago, the Springboks united our nation with that iconic Rugby World Cup victory. And now the Mighty Boks are back. Don't miss South Africa versus Italy on the 30th anniversary commemoration match this Saturday, 12th July. Build-up was at 4 p.m. Central African time. Action kicks off at 5 p.m. Central African time. Watch it live on SABC2 or stream it anywhere on SABC Plus app. Download the SABC Plus app today on iOS, Android, or your smart TV. Switch to stream. No subscription. SABC Sport for the love of the game. 16:58 Central African Time. In Portuguese, they say, "O dia acima da terra é bom dia." A day above the ground is a good day. Africa and the world will do it again tomorrow. Same place, same time, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central African Time. Thank you to Catherine Chuchu TV Maleka, our technical operator, our audiovisual streaming team, Bonolo Chwane, together with Jabu Mnyakeni, and our social media guru, Dumisilema. My producer is Andisi Wefagemalu Zobona Mali. And from the rest of the Africa at Play team, thank you for listening and thank you for tuning in. My name is Neto, Neto Chemane, Hosiatiko. Nyangazi mumkhatsho phandle kunjani moyani vukuvuku dendele Africa at Play asideleli siyashaya. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.